is because of the people sitting on the dais. We are basically enjoying the fruits of their labor. So who better than them to guide us towards our future? So let me face my panelists. No, sir. Let me introduce. So it's my honor to introduce them. And to start with, the senior most, the founding director of NCPOR, Dr. Premchand Pandey. He was here director from 1997 to 2005. So he literally sowed the seed of NCPOR here on this ground where we are sitting. He is an institution builder, not only establishing NCPOR, but also played a key role in establishing the Cape Energy Center for Atmospheric and Ocean Studies at Allahabad University. He has made significant contributions to remote sensing techniques for ocean and atmospheric studies and has received several awards, too many to list here, but most prominently the Shanti Swarup Bhatnagar Award, the highest science prize. He has represented India in various international committees, IPY Committee of 2007-2008, Scientific Antarctic Research, and Antarctic Treaty consultative meetings. Now I come to my second panelist, Dr. Rasik Ravindra. Okay, after every introduction. So we would like to welcome our panelists as we introduce them. So we would like to request our director, Dr. Thamban, to please present bouquet to Dr. P.C. Pandey. Yeah. Now we come to the next panelist, Dr. Rasik Ravindra, Director of NCPOR from 2006 to 2012. And he was the person to recruit. So he led an explosive growth in NCPOR activities with many firsts to his name. First Indian expedition to South Pole, first Indian Arctic expedition in 2008, and establishing the Himadri Research Station at New Alicent, Norwegian Arctic, and selecting the site for India's third Antarctic Research Station, Bharati, and so on. Several awards to his name, including the National Mineral Award and the SCAR Medal for International Coordination, being the most prominent ones. He has represented India as the Vice President of SCAR, Vice Chair of COMNAP, Chairman of the Asian Forum on Polar Sciences, elected member of the United Nations Commission on Limits of Continental Shelf, etc. And we would like to thank you and welcome him with flowers. Yes, big round of applause, please. And now we come to our beloved Dr. S. Rajan sir, Director of NCPOR from 2012 to 2015. Maybe only 3 years as director, but he has been associated with NCPOR since 1998. So a really vast experience and knowledge about NCPOR activities. And as former secretary told us that he is the architect of the Indian Continental Shelf Program, which is going to be one of the biggest contribution to nation. But he was also involved in initiating the Indian Arctic Program, identifying the site for Bharati, and implementing the IODP program, among other things. So International Ocean Discovery Program, that has led to massive scientific growth in paleoclimatic studies in the country, for which we thank Dr. Rajan sir. He has been awarded the prestigious National Geoscience Award and Dr. H.N. Siddiqui Medal of the Indian Geophysical Union. He has served as India's elected representative to United Nations Commission on the Limit of the Continental Shelf, providing expertise on maritime boundary delineation and organized training for international scientists, etc. So we would like to welcome you, sir, with a bouquet of flowers. Yes, a round of applause, please. Yep. Thank you. Last but not the least, as he has the longest CV, I come to my present director. Director of NCPOR since 2022, but with NCPOR since 2002. So he has really seen the nooks and crannies of NCPOR and contributed immensely to the growth of NCPOR. Sometimes also called as the Ice Core Man of India, as he has established the first ice core lab of India here, storing and studying Antarctic ice. He has undertaken, so Antarctica may be close to his heart, but he has undertaken scientific expedition to all the polar regions, Antarctica, Arctic, Southern Ocean, Himalayas, including the first Indian scientific expedition to South Pole. He has been awarded several awards, including the National Geoscience Award. He is a fellow of the Indian Academy of Sciences, Bengaluru, and a fellow of the National Academy of Sciences, India, and a member of the Norwegian Scientific Academy for Polar Research. He has supervised several PhD students. In fact, after a few days, another of his students has a viva, and more than 125 peer-reviewed research papers. He is representing India in many international forums, including Scientific Steering Committee on International Partnership in Ice Core Sciences, International Arctic Science Committee Council, and the Scientific Committee on Antarctic Research. And we welcome you by presenting a bouquet. Yes. And that would be my honor. So now I would first like to invite the panelists to provide their opening remarks and their perspectives on the opportunities and challenges for NCPOR in the field of polar, ocean, and Himalayan sciences. So I would request, so I would request PC Pandey sir to please provide his remarks.
Good afternoon to all of you. And since morning we have heard very interesting presentation by Harsh Gupta ji, Goel Sahab, Muthunagam Sahab. So it reminded all of us our old days, how we all started and in which direction this center has to go. Our present director Thamban also has given the view what type of the research we are doing here in Antarctica and what is the future opportunity. I want to say in one word, this Antarctic Center has infinite possibility of doing the research in any domain. So let me first start, because I was inspired to see Harsh Gupta's slides about the solar eclipse, which happened to be there in 400 years. And I do not want to discuss the difficulty with which we had to got the approval from Harsh Gupta sir, because it was he, being a hardcore scientist, we could get the approval. And fortunately, what happened, very interesting things. All the times there was a cloud. Just 10 minutes before the solar eclipse, cloud went away and they got fantastic result. And then when this news came, Harsh Gupta sir took the meeting and then told everybody, had it not been successful, you would have all asked Dr. Pandey's resignation. So I want to tell this thing, in science you have to take risk, you have to take chance. If you know the result, then there is no need of doing any research. So let me first start with the cosmos and other things. We are in a unique position. Antarctica, you know that polar region, Harsh Gupta sahab showed in one slide, it's good he showed that, so I don't have to, if you remember, there had not been any almost nil precipitation in the central part of the Antarctica. So the view is very clear because there is no water vapor there, so you can see the whole universe. And why I am telling, many of the American universities, government, and European nations, they all have a different types of the instrument there in the South Pole to view the universe, to know what happened when there was a Big Bang. After that, what has happened. So you have a ample opportunity. I do not say you invest money into that, but we should become a partner into that program so that our scientists, they get the experience of getting the data, how to analyze, how to know more about the universe. So I will say astronomy, astrophysics, and solar physics. So one example Harsh Gupta sahab has already said, and we have been going there. And there are 3 prime institutions which should be roped in. Indian Institute of Astrophysics, Physical Research Laboratory, Ahmedabad, and ARIS in Nainital. They are the people who are looking into the cosmos. So you have the ample opportunity to cover many of the good institutions in the country to embark upon these things, number one. And they have all type of the equipment, optical, infrared, terahertz technology, telescope is there, millimeter, sub-millimeter, all sorts of the instruments are there in the South Pole. And they are getting the, you can say, revolutionary result about our cosmos, our understanding of the universe and other things. So this is the area, I am saying you put all your money into that. But we should have a linkage, because as a nation, once we think of India to be a giant and developed nation by 2047, already we have spent 45 years. So this is something where we should be able to think big, and clear-cut vision should be there, what we are going to do that. And this will be done systematically by involving the credible institutions from the country, number one. And you know what is there in Antarctica, everybody knows it is ice only, so it is a form of water. So that also is very fundamentally very important thing, because it is not almost nil water vapor in the central part, but other parts we have some amount of, let it be part per million. But even that is very important to affect our weather and climate. So that is also a very important thing. So the sheer dimension of the Antarctica, 14 million square kilometer, and Arctic sea ice. So this study, of course, this NCPOR already conducting the experiment, so they should accelerate this study. And in recent, within a few months, ISRO is going to launch one of the very sophisticated equipment. So like NISAR, NASA ISRO synthetic aperture radar, which will be 2-band radar, one at L band, developed by JPL Charles Sciences Group, and by our Space Application Center, Ahmedabad, S band. So this will provide the unique view of the Antarctica and Arctic region, and also Himalayan region, with unprecedented accuracy and details. So that opportunity should be seized by our people, by our districts. You have already infrastructure, people know. So the error, the uncertainty in the sea ice extension and sea ice concentration will be greatly reduced. So we will have a more confident result and linkages with other phenomena. Number two. Number three, you know that the last century, what was the most astonishing discovery in the world? It was the Antarctic ozone hole. And 3 people got the Nobel Prize. Paul Kutzner from Germany, Max Planck Institute, Mario Molina from JPL, and Sherry Rowland, University of San Diego at Irvine. These 3 people got the Nobel Prize. So it is not that we are doing something which has no, it is global relevance, and every humankind is going to be influenced with that, and there is a lot of international treaty and other things to control the chlorofluorocarbon that is used for many of the industries and refrigeration and other things. So that discovery, how it was done, very interesting, I will not take much time, but it has ignited the mind. Before the discovery was made in 1985 by Joe Farman, a scientist from British Antarctic Survey. And he has been simply going there, setting up the equipment and taking measurements and plotting those things. So what happened? There people were saying, this fellow only goes and get 1-2 points and then comes back. So why we should wait for 40 years? But that discovery has revolutionized the whole research into this field. So then ultimately it was discovered by Mario Molina, who was a postdoctoral at university working with Sherry Rowland. He did the things in 1974, and he, by theoretical kinetic reaction of the solid surface in the laboratory setup, demonstrated this molecule is going to eat this ozone molecule in the stratosphere. At that time, there was very criticism. There was a group which was against him, there was a group which was for him. But ultimately, what he predicted it 10 years back, before any observation, it was proved by the observation both from the satellite and from the ground-based measurements. So this should be continued, because I was just discussing with this thing, even in Bharati you should have this type of measurement and other minor constituents, because that will provide the validation things for many of the international satellites, and will be in great demand to validate their satellite. You know, satellite use, but it has to be validated. So that type of thing. So I will put the item-wise satellite monitoring of the Arctic, Antarctic, but the new kind of the sensors like the NISAR, correct? NISAR. And then ozone research has to be intensified. Recently, one of my colleagues, I asked him, we have been collecting the data, but there is no people who can assimilate our data with the global analysis of the ozone, total ozone. So then we published a paper in Nature, Nature Journal of Climate and other things. So we got so many, you can say, roughly 50, 60 press media, everybody from United States. I said, I am fed up, you take care of all this. My colleague was there in. So then it created a lot of appreciation. This data is the most recent. Now they are confirming what we had done about it 5, 6 years ago. So this research should also become, they may look very silly things if we are simply observing what is the use of that. You will get the criticism, but don't worry about the criticism. It is a part of life. You have to live with that. If you are scientifically convinced, go ahead and do it. Correct? And other things which is very close to my heart is what Rajivan told. You know, one of the most difficult and uncertain part in the whole numerical model is the representation of the ice sheet, both Greenland and Antarctica plus sea ice. This is the most difficult part, and that is why you saw the model output with the in situ measurement. There is a huge variation. There is a proverb which I told in BHU one of the meeting. All models are wrong, but some are useful. So we have to do this type of things because there are 2 dozen, 3 dozen models. We do not know which one to adopt. So for that, we should also involve ourselves into that. And teleconnections and other things. Recently, one of the outstanding paper has been published by Thamban and his group, where one of my student is involved and who is leading a very good polar climate program in IIT Kharagpur. He has worked for 5 years in British Antarctic Survey. So he has done outstanding work. There is a lot of news about that work, where he is trying to see how West Antarctic ice sheet is melting because of the interdecadal Pacific decadal oscillation. So this type of things, but I am glad that Rajivan brought out linkages with the Indian summer monsoon. So this will put India that yes, we are doing something which is of immediate relevance to our nation. So I will summarize in this way. We have to be globally relevant and visual. For that, we have to have the high profile scientific, and our participation should be there. You see how they are using the scientists in certain experiment. There is a neutrino experiment. They are trying to study neutrino, subatomic particles, and they have ice cube experiments in Antarctica. Actually, somebody suggested that you try to rope the TIFR. I contacted, wrote a letter, but it was very lukewarm. Because you can't get that type of money. So I said, why you are worried about the money? First, there should be willingness to do that. Then we can think of the money later. But that did not work. So I also, because we have a lot of things to do. So, but I did explore that possibility. So these are some of the things. Rest of the things, you have the fantastic laboratories, ICPMS, and that was my vision when I joined. Because in Antarctica, like you want to study the elephant. If you study the trunk, then you say, I know the elephant. So it is not like that. You have to have a multi-dimensional study. That is why we set up all the laboratories in Antarctica. Thamban's laboratory, Ice Core laboratory, Hatgupta Sahab was there. It was inaugurated in presence of Hatgupta Sahab. I remember. So Ice Core, you are the leader, you are the pioneers. And the Ice Core laboratory is one of the finest in the world. Because I inquired from Thambam, has any time it has gone wrong, it did not work, so far no, sir. Because they are having the preventive maintenance. So this is a record in itself. Because when I was there in Alfred Wegener Institute, they said 15 साल में तो हमारा तो पैनिक हो गया. घर पर अलार्म आने लगा डायरेक्टर के या तो immediately within 3 hours they tried to set the refrigerator system all right. So that should be continued. You have this IODP program getting code for paleoclimatic reconstruction is also important. So paleoclimatic reconstruction, and then Hargupta Sahab has already put the seismic instrument in the Antarctica, because you cannot predict the earthquake, but at least we keep on enhancing our understanding of the earthquake and other things. So the climate research modeling group has also, because if you want to conduct experiment, so you too have this model. And now everybody is talking the interconnected system. You have the curves here, you have the ocean, you have the atmosphere. So you can say that opportunities are limitless, because ultimately, but you focus on your domain. I will not say that this institute should focus on fisheries. No, because already CMLRE is there. Other fisheries institutes are there. Let them do that. But we should focus on our. And then, because of this global warming, now this southern ocean, the circulation, thermohaline circulation is going to be affected. Then there will be catastrophic effect. So how to study all these things? We should have an observation, plus satellite observation, plus numerical model. So this is the area where our people should focus. And rest of the governance and the technology things, Goel Saab has already given, and then like our polar crossing and other things. Now it should be all developed in our own country. Goggles, everything should be developed in our country. And nowadays, many of these entrepreneurs are coming forward and given new type of incentive. They can come and do the things which is better than what is available elsewhere. So with these few remarks, I will simply say you have infinite possibilities in your domain, which is very unique to NCPOR. I will not say simply the molecules and other things. You are discovering the molecules. Now what is the next step? Involve the entrepreneurs, startups, so that they can take this molecule and build some medicines out of that. That is our next step should be there. So technology development, bringing it to the real lifetime. Recently, I also heard that Anup Tiwari's group, in association with IIG Hyderabad, they have developed new molecules which is very good for cancer. So this should be taken a step forward. This can be done only by involving the private. We will have the problem, because I remember Rasik Saab told me, I said this pyramid, kya Rasik Saab? Pyramid, So I said, it was as if I have done some blunder. Because they are the private people, they are untouchable. It is not like that. Why should we care? I said, yes, I will send. If I do not send, who will send? How they will get the opportunity to see whether this molecule can be converted into some medicines, others. So these are some of the things which we feel it has to be done. I am sure the ministry, there are our scientific leaders, they will never stop you. So with these few remarks, I close my comment.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your detailed and comprehensive comments. Please have a seat. And now I move on to Rasik Ravindra sir for his opening remarks on the opportunities and challenges. It is very difficult to speak after PC Pandey sir, but still.
No, I think he has made our job very simple. Very simple. What opportunities we have, what all challenges we have, is very well taken into the mission mandate of NCPOR. And there was none other than Professor U.R. Rao, possibly who made that mission mandate statement. And if you go through that mission mandate, there are three steps in that. The number one is that it is the duty or it is the task of the NCPOR to create, to conduct, and to coordinate and execute the best of the gamut of the polar sciences and logistics. That was number one. Number two was to create a position of India which is perceptible and influential within the polar regions. And number third was that to take into consideration India's strategic position within the polar regions. So for first aspect, that is the science and the logistics, I think we have done wonders. Everybody knows how we started with Dr. Qasim's expedition, then Dr. Harsh Gupta, then construction of Maitri, construction of Bharti. Everybody knows the history has been created. We have a station in Antarctica where you don't have to use the piston bullies. You park your ship right at the next door, and then you can take the cargo on the piggyback or on the small vehicles. This is nowhere in Antarctica, excepting perhaps Mawson. You know, we have such a situation where you don't need the cargo vessels. You can simply take your cargo to your room, scientific equipments to your room. So with such developments, with such perspective vision, you know, the program that has developed and the wonders that our logistic division has done in sustaining all the activities of about 50 odd people in Bharti and 70 odd people in Maitri. It is something splendid. Now, but when you come to the second and the third aspect, there I feel there are a lot of opportunities which we as scientists have not been able to give perfect attention. Our perception, our perceptible image before the word, as of now, is not what we would like it to have it. That there are reasons for that. Because in all these affairs, whether it is ATCM, or it is COMNAP, or it is International Arctic Science Committee, you are judged by your international strength and international partners. How many programs you are coordinating, collaborating with people. That was taking a backstage a couple of years back. But now if you see, I think you are everywhere. You are having rings, you are having Siava, you are having Stepples, you are having Mad Ice. So wherever you enter into any domain of scientific field, whether it is Belgium, it is Norway, it is British Antarctic Survey, or even US, because we collaborated with the Tawani University of US for Gruber Lakes. And very few people know that the Gruber expedition of German and US, which helped them to sort of create a ASPA for Gruber, India and the Maitri station provided them all the logistic help. So that is the sort of the activities, that is the sort of the support that our program is giving to make our image before the global parties, global states very, very influential. So that, I think there something more needs to be done in that. And the third is the strategic influence. Now all these polar areas, whether it is Arctic or Antarctic, Dr. Goel was saying that possibly the Arctic we can't do much, but I think there are a lot of scopes that we can perform the role, because in the current geopolitical situation, the Bloc A doesn't talk to Bloc B. The NATO group doesn't talk to the Russian group. And we have seen this in ATCM. Whatever proposals came from the US were turned down by China and Russia, and whatever proposals came from the Russia and China were turned down by the US and the European group. India is the only country which can bridge the gap. Fortunately, whether it is a US group, or it is a European group, or it is Russia and the China group, we are the only people who are acceptable to all these people. So whatever we say, whatever help we give them, that will be of a great importance. So we should encash this in the current geopolitical situation. I think we have a great role to play. And that will also take our strategic influence. As you know, the entire world is craving for the RE minerals, rare earth minerals. Greenland is very rich. The Russians are having a lot of area in the Arctic, which is still available for exploration. And there are a couple of research stations in Russia which they are offering you to come and join them. For example, and they call it Ice Cube Station or North Pole Station. So we are very welcome there. In the recently held, there was a meeting in the North Frontier. You were there. And they are offering us that, well, India is very welcome to come and join that thing, because they don't have the researchers to conduct a serious research in many fields. For example, bioprospecting. Bioprospecting in Antarctic is a topic which people don't talk about, because there are jurisdiction issues, there are intellectual property issues. But in Russia, because that is their own jurisdiction, so we can do wonders there. And that can get a lot of commercial gain to the India. As you say, what are you doing for society? So that is perhaps one field where we can contribute to the pharma industry to create new elements, new products, new medicines, which will help the society in general. This is my opening remark. We'll come later on.
Sure, thank you, sir. And now I would request Dr. Rajan to provide his perspective, opportunities and challenges, and from a marine perspective also, that we have been hearing about Arctic and Antarctica, but now let's come to oceans also.
Thank you, Manish Tiwari. To start with, one of the suggestions I had was that this panel discussion title should have been Challenges and Opportunities, because you don't wait for challenges, you start an opportunity, it doesn't work that way. If you go back in time, you'll say the first Antarctic expedition was a challenge that opened several avenues. The first expedition to Southern Ocean, which was led by Dr. Sudhakar, it was a challenge at that time for him. Now it opened up several avenues for research. Same for Arctic, same for hydrothermal. So that's a simple suggestion which I want to make, and I will take it upon you. What you said is correct. I would rather not touch upon the P part of NCPOR, because several people already told, and there is a veteran here sitting next to me. I dread to think about what I can add more to what he has said already. And Dr. Rajivan in the morning also suggested several key issues he has highlighted. So I would focus basically on the O part of NCPOR. What are the challenges which we face, and what are the windows of opportunities which we have? If you go back in time, about 15 years back or so, when Professor Harsh Gupta was the secretary of the Department of Ocean Development, he came up with this idea, we should come up with a 15-year perspective plan on earth sciences. Because he said the entire DOD, now it has become MOES, and it is built on earth sciences. So we should have a perspective plan what we would like to do. And with a lot of interaction, we came up with a 15-year perspective plan. Many of the things, actually, if you look back in time, I feel that we have let him down. In fact, we have not been able to do justice to what we want to do. To start with, of course, we started on the geoid law. Of course, it has been big success. Another dream of his was to, you have got this Kaveli Kuppam DS transect. He always wanted to link up the transect across the Kaveli Kuppam and link it up with what you are having in the Laccadive area, take it across India and into the Bay of Bengal also. And if you really think about it, we really don't know where our continent stops and the ocean takes over. There has been a lot of discussion. The reason is that we have not done enough. So I would say that is the basic thing we should do. We should know what is happening in our backyard. Just 2 days back, Dr. Shailesh Naik was also mentioning the Andaman's geological and structural characterization. That's what led to actually IODP. He was so keen that we should take up the Andaman sector. There should be a concerted effort, not only the physical oceanography, geological, biological, everything, looking at an Andaman Sea, not only Andaman Sea, the Andaman mainland also, Barren Island, we really don't know about it. We have got some pieces of information here and there, but I would say NCPOR is ideally poised because we have got a good bunch of youngsters who are keen to take up this challenge. Then going down in the tractor, and where do we get the data? We are sitting on a gold mine. As Dr. Harsh Gupta pointed out in the morning, we have got about 31,000 kilometers of seismic data, which nobody has collected so far. No institution in the country has collected. The data is sitting right here. 98 ocean bottom seismometers we have collected. The data is available there. We have completed 2D seismics. But unfortunately, because of the confidentiality thing, blah, blah, we have not been able to take this further forward. At the same time, we see there are several publications coming out. From Reliance, from ONGC, several sectors, they are publishing data, and they have got the results of site. So why not we have a limited access to this data, which is available, which we collected in 2004. It's more than 20 years since the data is sitting with us. So I think it's time that we woke up and say that, look here, we have had enough. We have made our submission to the CLCS. It takes its own time. Instead of waiting for that to be released, by the time the data would have been obsolete. And so why not we make a concerted effort, bring the directors of all the institutions, pull them together, find out what they can do, and how best we can release the data. In piecemeal, let us not release the entire data, open it to the public, ask people to publish it, and we will end up with so many publications which may even discredit our organizations. So instead of that, the best would be to have a selective release of the data, which can come only with, there are, see the NSS, for instance, there is another organization which is also looking at system sciences, bring in the people from INCOI, see the IoT is there, pull in the resource and see that this is the data I have got. What is the thing you would like to do with this data? Put the question back to them. So now we are providing them the data. Come up with an answer. What will you do? If you cannot do it, okay, let's keep the data back and wait for some time somebody else will wake up and everything. So that's one thing. So there's a whole list of it. Kaveli Kuppam transect, I would say number one. Andaman sector is number two, which we should look at. Continental ocean transition on the west coast and east coast, we really don't know. So we have been working, people have been telling me there is a basin there, there's no basin there, there's a ridge, the ridge is not a ridge, the ridge seems to be a ridge. So it has been going on for, I think, ever since we started oceanography in the country. So it's time we put an end to all this hypothesis and take it across on a more concrete platform and say, look here, our studies. If you look at Atlantic, if you look at the Pacific Ocean, the amount of publication, the amount of data they have published, they have the data they have published. Here we have the data. But unfortunately, we are depriving a generation of scientists from utilizing the data. And now another thing is that what do we do with the data? See, that's another problem which we always faced. The people are reluctant to part with the data. The main reason is that, if I give the data to X or Y, he or she will publish it before I can even think about it. So what happens to me? So in the process, what happens is I hold on to the data, I don't share the data. I don't even provide a metadata to the people. And finally, one fine morning, I wake up and I realize I'm retired. So what do I do with that? I keep the data with me. I don't even share it. So there should be a protocol. Again, under the aegis of MOEs, we should have a definitely well laid out protocol which says that, hey, look here, you have collected data, all right. If you are not able to do anything with the data over a period of time, I don't know how the secretaries would feel about it, give them some time, 2 years, 3 years. If you are not able to publish in 3 years, you are never going to publish it. Take my word for granted. Release the data, so make it mandatory for the people. Any scientist who utilizes MOEs funds for any program should have, basically the responsibility, it's the responsibility. If I lose something on board the vessel and I have to go and file an FIR, Dr. Sudhakar is the expert in all those things. He will tell what is the difficulty you will face when you lose something on the ship. But here, if I go and collect the data, I'm not responsible for sharing the data with anyone. I can keep it to myself. Nobody will ask me, what are you doing with the data? At the most, I will say, okay, I put it in my annual report. That's it. That's not it. Have you done justice to the data you collected? And there is an organization which is responsible. They are funding you. That data should be made available to the people. If you are not able to publish, share with other people. There are universities. They would look forward to the data. Can we not provide it? So the list is long, I could go on and on, but I think these are some of the basic thoughts which I thought I will share with the younger generation, because they need the data, they need the science. Thank you very much. Thanks.
So now I come to Dr. Thaman Malhotra, and some views on challenges also. We have been listening about opportunities, but now challenges as well.
I think rather I will, if I am allowed, I would rather like to start also just, not a reply actually, just a few comments on actually what Pandey sir and Rajan sir actually. Start with Pandey sir actually that some of the important, most important science focus, I think sir, this is something which we already have in our horizon. Number one, astronomy and astrophysics. There has been already communication between the Indian Institute of Astrophysics in Bangalore and NCPOR. There is a plan. In fact, there was a meeting already held actually, planned to set up a kind of a telescope in Antarctica. Again, initiated, I think for a long time, Shailesh Naik sir actually has been pursuing this actually with us. So we are on the right track. Hopefully, because there are some logistical constraints which is coming up actually, hopefully we are able to do it one day. Your even the ozone hole, I think I want to just say that actually the ozone survey, we want to ensure that actually both the stations we will have that, and it should be a long-term monitoring, no doubt about it. So to Rajan sir, actually, sir, I think it's an extremely important point you raised actually, that you have so much of data, are you able to really utilize it? So how do we, see, as far as I am, the institute is concerned, actually we are bound by those rules from set by the government. So if you have an opportunity, I will be more than happy to open, because there are so many PhD students are waiting to do the work on this, Unfortunately, this data has been a hold for such a long time. We need to find a way. I agree with that. As far as the normal data policy is concerned, now there is a clear, we have a data policy where actually data has to be released now. Our national data, Polar Data Center, has to be submitted now. Some of the projects we are funding, we are clearly saying that only 2 years you can keep the data. If you don't publish in 2 years, actually, we are asking others to allow to that. So, for example, IEG actually was not sharing data. IEG very clearly now agreed actually that they will, we will use the data. So now, I also want to, not rather look at the opportunities rather than challenges. I think there is time for discuss the challenges again. Challenges, of course, I think, when you talk about this, scientific challenges are more defined by the operational and logistical constraints as far as the polar regions. That is quite huge. And anyone who is involved with polar regions do know that globally, the polar science is defined by the polar logistics. However, the opportunities are actually more there. Actually, it's the collaborations actually, which and collaborations does not happen one way. Only strength brings strength. So unless we generate our strength, both in science and logistics, people don't approach you. So that started now. In science, it started almost now for nearly 5, 6, almost 10 years now. And in logistics, it started now for a few years, a couple couple of years now, we already have that, again, people start approaching us kind of. So that shows we are gained that strength. So I would say the challenges do exist. I won't say that it's not exist. The biggest challenge which as far as in a polar institution or even the country in that doing polar research, I would say it's a platform. A platform which can go to those regions which are normally not accessible. Like in this case, an ice class vessel. That is the most important thing, and not just a vessel which we hire only to ship things to Antarctica, but also a vessel which can also carry out research in those areas. Especially if you look at the Arctic in the coming decades, I think without a vessel, you will never be a player there. That is something which I would say is a challenge. And if you look at the countries like China now has been building a 6th station, in Antarctica. Of course, that's probably the flexing the muscle a bit too much actually, but once you have the fun, you can do that. But I would say even if not that, at least you need to maintain that basic critical level of station support. So that's something actually the Maitri, replacement station is something I think I would say that could be an opportunity for that. But I have a few science points which I thought actually, which luckily I did not find in Pandey Saab's actually, so I have still want to add to it. One is there is no other better place in Antarctica or Arctic to look at the life in extremes. Whether actually on this surface or on the bottom of this ice, which the kind of life which you find, life forms, whether it's microbial life, mostly they are microbial life actually. Those things, the opportunities which they provide are not only just basic science, but also opportunities in the future. The same thing, life in extremes applies to the deep seas, like especially the hydrothermal vents and that one. So the kind of life which they found around those areas are quite amazing, and I think this opens up a new opportunity for all of us. So the second point, which again I just don't want to miss to point out, actually I think one of the biggest question about Antarctica is actually how long Antarctic ice sheets going to remain there. I think that has a huge implication as a country, which we are a coastal country we are, because ultimately the sea level and the related things will be decided by that. So if you ask my colleague who is sitting there actually that Kenny Matsuoka actually that kind of many big projects going on actually to what we really don't understand actually is the place where the large ice sheets in Antarctic ice sheets start flowing and reaching to the Antarctic sea level, we call as the ice shelves, how healthy they are. Many of them seems to be not healthy, and probably actually we don't know how well they can be vulnerable. And connecting that point to a project which is we're gaining strength. In fact, one of my PhD students has been working on it, but there's a globally important point is that the atmospheric rivers, what we call as the very long, nearly thousands of kilometers long, within the atmosphere actually these particular systems moving with high increased temperature as well as the water vapor. They travel all the way from tropics to Antarctica or the Arctic. They bring so much changes to Antarctic ice sheets because they are very warm and they happen with as an extreme event, and the extreme events happen in such a short period, they can break or make the ice shelves. Nearly 60% of the ice shelves in West Antarctica is found to be related to that. So that's something I would say that will require a lot of studies now actually, both observational, modeling and the in situ studies. So rather, there are other points I think we'll discuss. I think I would rather stop it there. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So thank you for your detailed comments, because those comments covered a couple of my questions already. So now I will shift gears and go to a different aspect altogether, which is funding, which is the most important part of any project. So given the high cost of polar research, it is worth considering the advantages and disadvantages of diversifying funding sources. In fact, during yesterday's panel discussion also, the point about involving industries were raised. NCPOR currently secures grant from the government only. So the question is, should it also explore international bodies, private foundations, and corporate sponsorship from industries? What are the opportunities and what are the challenges involving such bodies, such industries, and such international partners? So maybe we start with Rajan sir, because, yeah.
Okay, thank you. All right. I can't say about the funding is a challenge. You know, I've never felt that funding, at least in India, is not a challenge. See, today morning only Dr. Goyal was mentioning, right? It's a question of courage, of conviction. If I'm convinced that I have a program, after run this program, I need the money. I don't think the government of India or any organization ever stepped in. Okay, there is a bureaucratic red tape. That's something which you have to learn to live with that. Leaving aside the bureaucracy, you know, if I ask for funding, if I ask it tomorrow, I may not get it tomorrow because there are several procedures involved. But if I want a funding in another 7 days, if I start the work early, and if I'm able to convince the people to fund this, say that I need this money for this project, don't threaten them. We don't have to threaten them. If we don't give the money, the project stops. No, that's not the way of looking at it. I'm convinced that this is a project, this project should have the utmost priority because of such and such reasons. I'm not sure whether we should involve corporate sector. I know I think the 6 of and others should be better in a better position to tell about it. But as far as the ocean science are concerned, I really don't see any problem because, you know, you have to, for instance, I will take you the example of Reliance. Reliance has collected so much data, they are publishing so much. And Reliance never do, they don't do the processing, you know, they send it outside, they get it the data processed outside. They do that even several of these things and they are publishing it within our exclusive economic zone itself. So corporate sector has a role to play, they have been playing basically for several of these things. But when it comes to polar regions, it's much more sensitive than I would dare to say that. So I would rather leave it to people like Dr. Rasik Ravindra and others to comment on that.
Rasik sir, your comments please.
Yeah, I think both Dr. Goyal and Dr. Rajan were correct in saying that if you have a conviction that this program is really good, it's in the national interest, funds have never been obstacle. You can take back the story in the beginning of the expedition, 1981. The first expedition costed us only 2 or 3 crores. And recently, some people are collaborating the documents of how the first expedition started and how the South Pole expedition started. You know, 1984 onwards, people have been trying. And the budget was no problem. Because if the government wants something to be done, and if they are clear that you have the capability of doing that, I think funding has never been a problem. I take example of Maitri. Of course, Maitri was funded by government and armed forces were involved, so there was no problem, no extra funding was involved. But Bharti, yes, it was totally built by international cooperation, and still there also there was no funding problem. The only thing was that we followed a procedure, the design competition and then the enrolling of the different firms. It so happened that in the first, there was 2 phases in construction. The first phase was done by a Norwegian company. Then the second phase, they were slightly overestimated that yes, they can do that. They lost, and another company came up. But then things went very finely. We were stuck at a stage where they wanted some more things, and then we were feeling that, well, that is not a proper thing. They are taking a ride on us. I contacted the secretary that time, Dr. Shailesh Naik was there, and he was coming forward state that if you feel that they are taking a benefit from you, let them go out. And when I told them that, okay, if this is the stand, we are not going with you. The next day they came back. Oh, we are sorry. So that is the way, you know, and Bharti, I think it was constructed in 2 field seasons only. Not, of course, as DG, because DG was done in one season. Bharti had multiple problems because it was an energy saving station and all that. It took 2 seasons. And I still remember that when we were, along with Dr. Goyal, we went to Kapil Sibal Saab, and he was asking, how is it possible that you will have a construction in Antarctica in 2 seasons when in India you can't do that? And then he was the person who inaugurated the Bharti sitting in CSIR hall. So fund has never been a problem. The problem is that in case you go to the private parties, they will expect something from you. Are you in a position to give them back? Way back, Ray-Ban, that goggle manufacturer, they came to us. And a distillery from Goa came to us. And we can supply you all these things. And then what do you expect in return? You just take some of our people. I said, no, we can't do that. We are not a commercial organization. We are purely a scientific body. And we get funding from Government of India. So no advertisement. No advertisement of Siemens generator or other boilers. Nothing doing. So that is the thing. If you are sure you can do it, you can do it.
Great, sir. Thank you for answer. So would you like to... I will go to next question. I will move on. Yeah, because both of you answered it very clearly that we should stick to government funding, and if there's conviction, we'll get it. So now before I go to audience, one more question to the panel, which is NCPOR works in extreme and harsh conditions. These conditions need continuous monitoring as well. So a wise man has said that observations not made today are lost forever. So we need to continuously monitor them in polar regions, deep oceans, and Himalayas. So what are the emerging technologies that NCPOR can use for remote research and continuous observation in polar regions and deep oceans and Himalayas? So maybe this time I'll start with PC Pandey, sir, about the technologies we can use for remote research.
Very importantly, one can make an attempt to develop the wind turbines for providing the clearance. Because the wind is there, it is a highly windy area. So if some companies can come forward and develop that.
Sir, not for...
Why are you doing this thing?
Sir, it was talking about the instruments in terms of monitoring.
How to monitor.
That is what
Okay.
I'm doing. In terms of, recently Adani has come out with the involvement of the few consortium of the IIT for the clean energy development. Some 300 crores they are trying to spend, and there are two IITs they are combined together. There are some 3 areas where they will put roughly 100 crores. So if you can convince there is a opportunity for developing the wind turbine for the Antarctic region, so it might appeal them and they may try to develop it. Second thing is, this now every day autonomous aerial vehicle or drone what you want to do. They are also now very advanced stages where they are being developed in different parts of the earth. Now it has become a very viable tool for the remote sensing purposes. So you get a high resolution picture which you can use to do so many science and other validation things. So these are some of the things which can be used, or this, even the macro sensors, right? They can be carried by this unmanned aerial vehicle, and then we can get the information, learn more about the atmosphere research. Now the time has come when these things should be developed in the country. Because earlier we used to get everything from abroad, but now IIT Kanpur has developed some of the pollution monitoring equipment, and they have tried to install all over the UP, and now they are coming to Bihar to get the real time about the PM2.5 and other parameters. So they can use in the AI-driven modeling technique to do the prediction of the quality of the air and the sea. So this is also a very important development, and where but the only question is we have to go and convince them. That can be done by describing to what are the challenges and area of development in the polar region, and then this to be distributed. So many new startups can come forward and do that. These young IITs, they are now making very big starts by developing these new technology. They are not going for the job in multinational companies, they are owning their own companies now. So these are some of the things we have to explore. We talked to press sometimes back about the coring things. Rashid knows, but I do not know how far it was, some 200, 300 kilometers, but it did not work. But you have to do chance and coring, then they should be able to do that. In Sagar Kanya also, Subhakar, somebody came to develop that rope. Subhakar, you remember rope. Then I said, if it is 8 lakh, 10 lakh, let us take a chance and do a partnership. And he developed something which was probably better than what Subhakar was getting from outside. So there are things, but you have to make everybody aware that these are some of the ways we can develop our indigenous industries and others.
Thank you, sir. And would any of the panelists would like to add to?
So Pandey Sahib is a good scientist. Technology has gone much beyond.
Right, sir.
Yesterday I was at one company, 5 plants in 5 different countries and 10 in India. One panel, complete information about health of every system of every machine is available there. So today technology is very different. The question is, what do you want? If you know what you want, anything can be made today much cheaper. You don't need any IIT, you don't need any research. Everything is available except that some sensors we don't have in the country. Sensors basically are not available, they are imported. Otherwise, all technology is available and it's much, much cheaper. You can't even imagine that it's so cheaper. So this you should know what you want.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, sir. And with this note, I open the panel to the audience, and there's one comment by Mitra, sir. Just provide. Please collect the mic from there also.
Yeah. So one of the things that I would suggest now is to use the drone technology, because that's becoming a very strong observational platform. And India has very good strengths now in developing drones, working in remote conditions. So I've been involved in the I think Kanpur and Delhi programs where they have developed drones for the frontier regions for the defense purposes, for collecting so much of information, right from weather to so many other things. So I think drones could be a very powerful tool for as an observational platform in Antarctica and also for the southern oceans. And it can operate out of the ships and stuff like that. So there is a great possibility. Look at it. There are different types of drones, from nano drones to drones that can carry, observation platforms up to 300, 250 kgs. There was a day when Chetak used to operate, you remember, with 300 kgs load or 600 kgs load. The drones are capable. So I think we should do that. The other thing, as Dr. Goel said, is I don't think that technology is a problem. You have to come out with the challenges and do a hackathon. First you have to define your needs. And you will see that there are a lot of young startups who are ready to come and provide these solutions at 1/10 the price. So I think that exercise has to be done. There are many small observation platforms and other things that you could, through this process, really help. And this is an area that you could really look at developing technologies, indigenous technologies, which is application both in Antarctica and otherwise. Because at the end of the day, the question is how science and technology is going to benefit people and the market. That's where the country is moving. The socio-economic growth along with the environment. The three things. So scientists now have to have a 360-degree thinking, much beyond the laboratories, and going and looking at how this could be applied for ease of living as the period comes. So keep that in mind in the future strategy, that whatever you do should have an application at some point of time. The end use has to be there. Knowledge creation is very good. At the same time, knowledge application is equally important. So keep this in mind as a philosophy, as a future strategy of your science planning. Because today the scientists have asked for, and after the COVID, the demand from the scientific community has increased so much. They are looking up at our scientists to do miracles, whether it is a disaster, whether it is a health outbreak. The scientists are called at the forefront. So I think that if you keep in mind, the application of what you are doing for the benefit of society, for going to the market for economic benefit, is what is very, very important, and that is how things are going to move. The second thing is, in all future, I must tell you that all the national projects that will be funded by ANRF and other national missions will have a consortia approach, where industries and academia will come forward to look at this problem and do science and provide solutions from that side. So this will really open new opportunity. 1 lakh crore has been announced to fund research and innovation in industries. 20,000 crores has already been approved this year. They are just creating the special platform, how to actually dispense that fund. That will open a great opportunity, especially in new drugs, new molecules, bioprospecting from Antarctica or from the southern oceans. A lot of industries will be interested in looking at it. So I think we need to do deliberation, talk with all the IITs, talk with the industries, have some open platforms, because many times as scientists, we only talk to each other. The more you open out your windows, you will get these ideas and opportunities to come by. The huge philanthropic funding there. There's a funding from diaspora that is going to come up in a big way under the ANRF. So there would be avenues of funding beyond the government. Other line ministries are also looking at induction of technology. So they are also coming forward now to work with, that provides solutions. Of course, they don't look into blue sky science. So these are the new opportunities, I think.
Thank you, sir.
To keep your ears and eyes open.
Yeah. Thank you for that insight and from government views. And I think Dr. Thamman.
Just, in fact, I just wanted to, since you already stressed some point actually that drone-based, that is something which actually a project which we are just taking up with IIT Goa and IIT Kanpur, NCPOR and another institution in US. Development of radar technology for mapping the glaciers using drones. So this is something which we are already.
So hyperspectral imaging.
Yeah.
Using drones. It's already there.
That's already there,
Yes.
but basically radar which can go
Radar
penetrate to the glaciers. That is something which.
Yeah, Dr. Sudak.
Yeah, actually, I could, as I heard in fact, what Dr. Goyal, Dr. Naidu, a few things have occurred in my mind about how to go about it. And I have been trying to see that many of you have addressed this issue. Number one is that it was asked clearly by Dr. Goyal whether India can be self-reliant to build an X-class vessel. Actually, we had an order issued by the shipping ministry. Actually, hereafter, every ship should be built in India. Against that, we went. Actually, I was also there. I was there along with Ravichandran as the director, Atmanand as director of NIOT. We tried to defend it because our interest was that, we started arguing saying that, our scientists will go icebreaker if it is done in India, it will break and our scientists will die. No, this was our argument, almost like, So, the entire industry has come. On example, I don't mix up anything, I'm telling you the truth. Entire industry came. It came with the Reliance industry, Cochin Shipyard, everybody came. They said, we are developing, we are constructing ships, including Mazgaon Docks came. They said, we are constructing for the Navy. We are doing such a class of ships and all. Ice-class vessel is only strengthening of the hull. It is a high tensile steel has to be obtained from abroad and all, and it requires a supersonic kind of a welding has to be done. Okay? And those fellows, I'm sorry, slight extension, I will ask extra time. The fellows in the world who are supposed to be super welders, they are from Gorakhpur, sir. They are from Gorakhpur. They go all the way from here to Sri Lanka, you know that? And the same fellows in India, they are not used. Okay. It's an example I'm trying. So, as you ask this question, it is doable. And we argued, and that additional secretary got convinced, and he said, I will give an exception. As far as Antarctic ship is concerned, overall ship I will give exception. He gave an exception. He gave an order. And I think, within 20 days or 30 days, he has withdrawn the order and he says, Atmanirbhar Bharat should be followed. So, there is always a confusion. Don't get confused. You rely on yourself as on date. As you said, sir, I go by that word. See, on certain things scientists should not get into. They should say, I want a safe platform to go to Antarctica, and in case anything eventuality happens, I should also have an insurance. That you ask. I want 20 crores insurance, 30 crores insurance. Number one. Number two, supporting this, the entire thing. See, I tell you, you have seen yourself when our Australians have come with a number of stations. Australians have started shutting down their stations also. It all depends with respect to the time and our affordability. Somebody comes tomorrow, if he's crazy, he will say stop. Stop the whole thing. I have not seen any advantage out of it. But as opportunity says, opportunities are in the hands of all these youngsters. They know what are the opportunities available. Don't ask us. Ask me, I will go back to 20 years. That time I went to Antarctica, I will remember that opportunity. It's already available. It's available by other countries. So why do you? See, the dialogues have to be straightforward. What are our problems today? How do you solve it? How do you go towards 2047? That is, Viksit Bharat. Okay? Number two, as far as the supporting in terms of finance is concerned, I thought in about half an hour we all will be on the stage. It was Dr. Ashgupta who came and asked, Rajan, me, Hare, Rao Sahab and all, stay back in this institute. It is just for an order given by the JS, Government of India, approved by ultimately by Secretary. This institute will be supported as far as possible. It is there in the order. I asked him to remove this sentence as far as possible. I will join you. Nobody has removed. Number two, all these institutions of MOS, as on date you have not given them what is called the pension system. It was initiated excellent. It stopped somewhere. I know also, how it's not, why it is not. It is a requirement. There's an energy. That is how you will, that energy is created. See, as on date, it is due to unemployment, some are joining into files. A day will come, they may not join into the files. It's not relevant.
Sir, we may stick to the topic, which is opportunities and challenges.
I won't say that you have an opportunity, okay. But as far as others joining you to support in terms of their funding and all that, a strategy has to be made. A strategy has to be made by the institute itself. They have to make, not others have to say that.
We'll get some other quick comment or question to the panel by anybody. So we are running out of time anyways. So finally in this panel, we covered a broad range of insights and opportunities and challenges, mostly opportunities. And my notes are all full. I cannot read what all we covered. But to name a few, life in extremes, and then globally visible science. NCPOR has to be globally visible. So that is the responsibility of our middle career scientists to take NCPOR to that height that it is recognized globally. Starting new themes, astrophysics, space sciences, etc. in Arctic and Antarctica. In Arctic, we have in fact made a beginning from involving RRI, Raman Research Institute. They are putting their radiometers there as we have started wintering. So they have that possibility there. Doing more of international cooperation that will increase our visibility, and need to study oceans more, and need to devise a way to share the data, what we have obtained. So I thank our panelists for their contributions and to our audience for engaging in the discussion. And let's continue to strive for cutting-edge polar research to understand our changing world. Thank you. Thank you very much for your attention. I pass on the baton to Avinash back.
Thank you, Dr. Manish, for fantastically motivating session. And I really thank to all the panelists for the objective was here to know about the NCPOR challenges, what we are going to face. And I think definitely they have given a platform to understand how the polar, ocean, and Himalayan research, we are facing the challenges and how to really outcome from those things. We have to know how the Arctic policies, Antarctic laws, environmental protections, we have covered all the studies. So I think it's a time that we have I request Dr. Harsh Gupta sir to please come on the dais to state the panelists. Dr. Rasik Raviprasad, Former Director, NCPOR. Next, I request Dr. S. Sarjan, Former Director, NCPOR. I request our Director, Dr. Thamman Milot, sir. I request our today's moderator, Dr. Manish Tiwari. So I'll request all panelists to please take one. Yeah, so we will take a short tea break. I'll request all the members, please come on the time, so we have to start the session because another two more sessions are remains only. So all the members are requested, please come on the time, please. He has been also an integral part of Indian scientific endeavor Arctic and has been the principal investigator for the project on the seasonal and annual responses for Arctic fjord and climatic variability. He has been his credit several awards, including the National Geoscience Awards in 2010, contribution in the field of ocean and development, as well as H.N. Siddiqui Medal Award of the Indian Geophysical Union 2020. He's contributed under the marine sciences. So it's a big round of applause for the Rajan sir. So our next panelist is Dr. M. Sudhakar, who served the two premier research institutes for the country, NIO, NCPOR, and also he was the head of the CMLRE. That is also another charge he has been taken. In 2018 to 2020, he was there in CMLRE. A veteran oceanographer, he has occupied the various positions such as a project leader and scientist, and he has spent more than 1,500 days in the sea on boards and the research vessel leader expeditions in the Southern Ocean and Antarctica. So we should have a big round of applause for him. He represented the India in proprietary commissions for the United Nations Law of the Sea, and he was elected as a member of Legal and Technical Commission by the ISWA in 2007 to 2011 and 2012-2016. Sir was also a member of SCOR, ICSU, serving the second terms of 2014. He was a resource person of International Ocean Institute, Malta member, National Steering Committee of Science and Astronomy, Olympiads, and the member of Scientific Committee, International Geological Congress 2020. He was the Commissioner General in Government of India, and he has also represented in the ESCO World Expo in 2012 by the South Korea. So with this, I'll request Rasik sir to please. Big. So our next panelist is Dr. Niloy Khare. He is a renowned expert in paleoclimatology. He was the nearly 30 years experience studying the southern high latitude regions from the micropaleontology. He holds his PhD in oceanography from the Goa University, and over the 30 years of the experience in oceanography, polar sciences, and the climate changes, he held the role of NIO, Shivaji University, and as well as in MOES. He was our part of NCPOR when it was initially when we were starting the NCPOR. He was one of the lead members who has been involved with the Pandey sir. He has received several prestigious awards, including the National Raj Bhasha Award in 2022 to 23, Rajiv Gandhi National Award from 11 and 12, and Krishnan Medal 2006. He has contributed more than 150 research papers, 30 books, and the serving PhD and MTech student as a fellow of FNISA and FIGU. He is a lifetime member of ISCA and GSI. He has served the government committee like the State Action Plan, Climate Change. His work significantly contributed to the Indian polar research and enhancing the global climate change. So I'll request Rajan sir to please give a bouquet to. So among the panelists, it's very special person. Since I joined in 2010, I could heard many people, many seniors, they used to talk about there was one administrator who always involved and it was the right hand for our founding director and the subsequent directors. None other than it is S.N. Dalvi sir. He serves as a NCPOR, as a NCOR, yeah, at NCPOR, formerly under the Department of Ocean Development from April 1989 and to May 2009, playing a crucial role in administrative framework of India oceanographic and Antarctic research program. With over the 2 decades dedicated to service, he significantly contributed to the institution growth and operational efficiency during a transformative period of India's polar and marine research initiatives. We eagerly look forward and hearing the stories. So before that, I'll request Sudhakar sir to please give a handwood bouquet to Dalvi sir. So
At the same time, at least earlier I want to say, very difficult man.
So now I will not take much time of mine. I think everybody is eager to hear about our panelists. So I will hand over to Rasik sir for to smoothly running the sessions. Thank you, sir.
Take it. Thank you, Avinash. This is a rare pleasure and privilege. Yeah, I will repeat. I said this is a privilege and a honor for me to moderate this session. We are the stalwarts of the Antarctic Study Center, and then NCPOR, and now NCPOR is there. In fact, I'm a misfit in this allied group because I am a late entrant. And these Pandavas, 5 Pandavas we call them, and they have a history. And I think tomorrow you are going to have a book especially mentioning their key contribution to the entire history of the Indian Antarctic program, to the NCOR and not to NCPOR. So as I start this session, I'm reminded of a small quote which is there in the National Archive building of the US. It's a very interesting quote, and it says, the heritage of the past is a speed that brings forth the hardest of the future. And I think that is very relevant to our group. So I just have 4 or 5 slides. Yeah. Life keeps on changing, you know. And this history of, or this story of the NCOR, Antarctic Study Center, now completes 25 years. We have added many people, many stalwarts to this history of ours, but we have also lost a few people. And those who had very, very significant contribution to our journey long. And then you can see, I've been able to capture some of these photographs from my archives, starting with Professor U.R. Rao, Dr. Bhaskar Rao, TVP Bhaskar Rao, Vagdekar sir, and our KP Krishnan. I don't have to tell you about all these people because about Professor U.R. Rao, all of you know, he was the founder person who has written the document on which the NCOR building stands. Dr. TVP Bhaskar Rao was the first person, as he was told in the, I think, the morning session, he was the first person to come over from the DOD and take charge of the Antarctic Study Center along with Mr. Dalvi. And Vagdekar Sahab is such a personality that you cannot stop talking about him. Such a cool, such a learned person. He handled practically all the projects of that had some sort of a relation with NCOR, whether it was CLCS, it was Antarctic program, it was anything that related to NCOR. He was a person, and so cool, and so, I won't say methodical, because once you go to his room, you know, the entire table will be strewed with files. And I do not know how he used to know which paper is where. But he was a fantastic person. And then KP Krishnan, he was the person who assisted Dr. Rajan in the Arctic program. And gradually he took over the Arctic program. He did a wonderful job, microbiologist. And he also discovered some of the good species, but we lost him. So with that thing, we move forward. And here are again some of the old pictures you can possibly correlate. Dr. Ravindran is there, Dr. Disa is there, our S.K. Das sir is there, and of course Sudhakar sir is there. And then again, I think this was the initiation of the CLCS program, if I am right, sir. When the program was being finalized with Rajan, they're all young people, you know, beard is not white, they're still black beards. Even Ravindran is having a mesh of black hairs. And then in the last slide over here, we have Dr. Shailesh Nayak, you know, planting a tree, and nearly, I think, 2 decades again back, he's come again to put up another plant over here. This man, of course, you know, and he has been talked about so many times, and I think we owe much to him. And in any sort of a history that we write about NCOR and ASC and then NCPOR, you just can't stop writing about him. A man par excellence, he speaks from his heart, and he's a very grounded person. Thank you, sir. Just a couple of, I think it was 15 years back, we celebrated the 10th foundation day of NCOR that time. And we had the Chief Minister, Pratap Singh Raneji, and then we had Kamath, sir. He was also one of the Chief Minister, but at this time he was the Speaker. And Dr. Shailesh Nayak was the Chief Guest, and he had joined, and Dr. Pandey was there, of course. And you can see all those people who were part of that 10th Foundation Day, they are still here and celebrating 25th Silver Jubilee year. And this is a recollection and a reminiscence of the Indian Antarctic Program, not strictly NCPOR, but Indian Antarctic Program, when we were celebrating the 25 years of Indian expeditions to Antarctic. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is a rare photograph where you can see the 3 leaders of the first 3 expeditions. They never sat together afterwards. Dr. Qasim, Padam Shri C.P. Vora, and V.K. Rana, the leaders of the first, second, and the deputy leader of the first expedition. Then we have Robin Sen Gupta of NIO, who was my leader in the 7th Antarctic expedition. We have many leaders, Dr. Handula to start with from the left, then Dr. Asthana, Dr. Sudhakar, not this Sudhakar, the other Sudhakar Rao, then R.P. Lal, Anchanal, Dr. Mukherjee, Bhandari sir, Dr. Sudhakar is there in the first row, sitting with the Southern Ocean Expedition leader. This is a photograph of the leaders of the expeditions. Then one gentleman from IIG, Ajay Dhar. Then, of course, it's me. Then Jairam sir, leader of the 23rd expedition, and then Dr. Shardendu Mukherjee, the leader of the 11th expedition. So with this, I go back to the years when the Antarctic Study Center had just been started, and I think Mr. Dalvi is the right person. If we move chronologically upwards, I'll request Mr. Dalvi to narrate in 5 minutes the first few steps he took from the hired building, Pereira building and the Manish Hotel to start the Antarctic Study Center, and the cooperation he got from NIO to start the Antarctic program. Mr. Dalvi, please.
Good evening, everybody. I am filled with immense pride and nostalgia as I go back 20 long years of my service in ASC and NCOR. In fact, Antarctic Study Center and attached office of Department of Ocean Development started functioning from Yanao Donapala, Goa, as one-man cell by appointment of administrative officer, that is me, with effect from 27th April 1989. Then Mr. Bhaskar Rao joined in 1992, and we shifted to Vasco City in a rented building. That was a Manish Hotel. And from Manish Hotel, we shifted to Pereira Chambers. And during the Pereira Chambers time, all these stalwarts, Dr. P.C. Pandey, Dr. Sudhakar, Dr. Rajan, Dr. Khare, and Dr. Shivaji joined in 1997, and Dr. Mitra joined in 1998. After joining up Dr. P.C. Pandey, he joined as an advisor of ASC. We immediately shifted to our Headland Sada building, which was still under construction, but the first phase was completed. And though it was not habitable, we shifted our office. Then in 2009, I was reverted back to MOES. So that is the story of this life. So, oh, well, again further we will go it, no?
Well, that's a good beginning. That's a very good beginning. But I think I will skip a couple of speakers and we'll come to Dr. Mitra, because he was a person possibly who made the document and the cabinet note and all those things for the Antarctic Study Center and then to the NCOR. So to Dr. Mitra, and then we'll come to Dr. Sudhakar.
So yeah, you know, यादों की बारात निकली है आज दिल की द्वारे. So let's go back, and I'll just, you know, some anecdotes that I remember. I joined DoD in 1993 after my return from UK, and I was given the Antarctic Division to handle. So we had basically 3 officers. One Mr. P.S. Singh, all of you are familiar, who was the section officer. I was the senior scientific officer. There was the joint secretary and the secretary. So that's how the hierarchy was. But many of you don't know what was the genesis of the Antarctic expedition. And it's very interesting. While I was preparing the EFC note, the revised EFC note of the center, when Dr. Muthunagan was the secretary, I stumbled across the cabinet note that led to the establishment of the Antarctic expedition. And the story goes like this. It's not a story, it's a fact. It's there in the note. Late 1970s, in one of the meetings of the Organization of Islamic Countries, OIC, our neighboring country raised and passed a resolution in the OIC saying that no other ocean is named after any country. So why is this called Indian Ocean? And we should change the name and remove India from calling this to be an Indian Ocean. So this was a resolution that was passed in the late 70s in OIC meeting. And Madam Gandhi, that time as the Prime Minister, took a decision that Indian flag should also be hoisted south of the Indian Ocean in Antarctica, so that we have a claim there saying that India extends from the peninsula to Antarctica, and she took a decision in the late 70s to send our first expedition to Antarctica. And when Dr. Qasim was actually identified as the leader to lead this expedition, he was the director in NIO. So very interesting, you know, what led to the genesis and the foresight of the then Prime Minister to have India's presence. In fact, many of you don't know that after 81, the first expedition India led, our neighboring country attempted to go to Antarctica twice, and they couldn't even reach the Southern Ocean, leave aside touching the shores of Antarctica. So that goes the geopolitical and the strategic thinking behind India's going to Antarctica. The initial years were very euphoric, and I was a young officer, and the entire expedition team was actually approved by a very high-level committee called the National Coordination Committee, NCC. And in the NCC, I have come across people like Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, who was that time Secretary DRDO, Professor U.R. Rao, who was that time Secretary ISRO, Professor S.K. Joshi, DG CSIR, all stalwarts in their time, Professor V.S. Ramamurthy, and that used to sit in Delhi headquarters to pass the mandate of the expedition and the launch of the expedition. And after that used to be done, it used to be sent to the Cabinet Secretariat for its formal approval. So this was the initial years. I thought, you know, I must recollect before I, of course, moved to the center here. A couple of quick anecdotes, you know, in one of the meetings of the National Coordination Committee, as all of you would remember, you know, Professor U.R. Rao was ever energetic, very vociferous, and Dr. Kalam was very subtle. And he took a decision to send 9 DRDO labs at one point of time used to go to the Antarctic expedition. 9 DRDO labs. And we had a greenhouse in Maitri, many of you would remember. And that greenhouse, they used to do experiments, the Defense Agriculture Research Lab, to look at how actually plants and microbes grow in extreme conditions. And in fact, from that experiment, DRD actually isolated a microbe that could actually be used for the degeneration of human waste up on the mountains. So this is exactly I was talking of how the research that was done in Antarctica could be used for other purposes. So in one of the meetings, actually, Professor U.R. Rao raised the question that how are you setting up, and taking alien plants and other things into Antarctica for experimentation. This is not allowed by rule. It was not allowed. Still, it is not allowed, in fact. And I still remember very subtly, Dr. Kalam, in his own style, said, look, all these rules are made by white men against people like us. I can ensure that whatever we are doing there is perfectly fine in the sense that the greenhouse is well protected, and we make sure that anything that we do there doesn't spill into the Antarctic environment. And that's how all the DRDO labs actually got involved in a very big way. A very interesting thing that used to happen in the early days, all of you must have seen, including Rasik, on the return of the expedition, there used to be a debriefing with the Prime Minister of India at 7 Racecourse Road. And in one of the debriefings, with Dr. Muthanagam was the secretary, Dr. Kalam was around, and that time the Prime Minister was Mr. Devegowda. It was that interim period, that Khichdi government. And we went to the 7 Racecourse Road. First time ever in that expedition, where Chaturvedi was the station commander there, we established the Inmarsat link using for telemedicine. And this was successfully done by our Defense Lab DEAL, Defense Electronics and Application Lab, Dehradun. Dr. Sandlas was the director that time. And Mr. Devegowda actually interacted with Arun Chaturvedi, who was the station commander, after which Arun Chaturvedi's picture came out as a printout, and where the Prime Minister signed, and within the bracket wrote the Prime Minister of India. After that, he turned around, and I was just standing next to him. He asked me, who lives in Antarctica? Is the Eskimos? I said, no, sir, it's not the Eskimos. The actual inhabitants are the penguins. We are actually intruders there. Scientists go to do experiments. Then he turned towards Dr. Kalam and asked him, can I not go to Antarctica? Is there a possibility that I can also visit Antarctica? And Dr. Kalam said, yes, sir, we can definitely look at it. Dr. Muthanagam was also there. I don't know whether he recalls. And after the whole thing was over, we just came out of the gate of the N7 RCR, and Dr. Kalam actually turned towards me and said, Dr. Mitra, I'll now take care of all what is required within the government machinery, talk to Defense Minister, Defense Secretary, and rest of the people. You explored the possibilities with Russia and South Africa to see how we can take the Prime Minister there. So my hands were cold. I was actually sweating because, taking the Prime Minister those days was not an easy task. Yeah. But lo and behold, as it is, within 7 days, the former Prime Minister became the former Prime Minister. So the government collapsed. And so that is a very interesting story of early days. I think I'll stop here, and then a few more things that I will come across in terms of what I contributed or we worked together for this center to take shape. So we'll come later on to that.
Thank you, Dr. Mitra. There are a couple of things I'll comment on what you say on that, because I am personally involved in all those things that you have said. But we'll move chronologically, and I'll ask Dr. Khare and Dr. Sudhakar, you decide who came first, and to tell us the story of Antarctic Study Center shifting to NCPOR. And then we'll come to, both of you decide who is the first.
Actually, he already said you talk.
Please go ahead.
I go by his word. I don't know, in fact, straight to the point is that it was Dr. Abraham Muthanagam who saw me giving a presentation in NIO in front of Erlich Disa. I was speaking about Sagar Kanya and its utilization as the ship was belonging to the DOD. Up to that point of time, there were already complaints against NIO that they were not giving the ship time to the others when it was declared as a national facility. At the end of the presentation, he asked me a question. I want to ask you direct question. Will you give honest answer? I said, I have been always honest and all. It has been my success story. Then he said, okay, you tell me honestly. NIO directory is giving the ship to others? I said, occasionally. Okay. Then he said, I have an answer. That's the end of it. Director Erlich Disa was so furious towards me looking at it. Afterwards, he told me, you are a traitor. It's okay. Then I came out and all this thing, same. Actually, Dr. Muthanayagam asked, I want you to join a challenging job. Are you ready to come? I said, I don't know all the challenges, you want to give it to me. But I know, one thing is that the safest place to live and enjoy life doing, without responsibility or accept responsibility on your own and deliver is CSIR that time. Everyone used to say, अरे एक बार CSIR में हो गया, एंट्री हो गया अंदर, NIO का अंदर, बाहर जाने के लिए कोई नहीं सोचता था. I was the odd man out, came out. It is at the instance of Dr. Muthanayagam. There I stopped. Okay. Then it was he who has, at the day, on the ending day and all this thing, he got again, and he talked to director, asked him to apply. Can you imagine how much of a humiliation I went through? Okay, director was furious on me. On top of it, secretary, of course. Secretary was a RC, also a chairman and all. There ends the matter. Now, the appointment orders were issued. It was issued to the director as an advisor, somebody told. And then he arrives and stays in NIO guest house. I get a call through a messenger saying that there is one doctor, P.C. Pandey, has come, Antarctica they used to call. It was not Antarctic Center. Believe me, even now in Goa, NCPOR is supposed to be NIO 2. It's an extension counter. Please understand. So you have to create that image. You have to keep on creating the image. Otherwise, they believe NIO only. So, I've gone. I go and open the door and come. Oh, you are Sudhakar. Yes. I look at him. This man is searching into a trunk. Do you all know a trunk? It is not a suitcase. It is an old, small steel trunk with the stripes and all this. And he opens up and he there he looked into and he said, I heard about you so much and you can do this. And he started talking, talk, so much he talked. Sir, I have not yet decided to join the center or not. There ends, okay? And then we are. Then we came to that place he was talking about, Pereira Chambers, okay? Already joined is Shivaji joined and there was only a single table. And then joined is Khare. Just in front of him he is sitting. I came to report. Across the river, I took a relieving and came to report. Then Dalviji, I know him already in NIO. And then I saw they arranged with great difficulty for him. Director ke liye bhi ek chair table arrange kiya. Chalo, when I came and all this thing, somebody was trying to offer a stool to me to sit. I thought, from where I was in heaven, suddenly, no, I don't say you have thrown me onto hell. You have thrown me somewhere. That is, in Sanskrit, it is called as the Trishanku. So, Trishanku mein aa gaya main. Then, of course, we had all the freedom with this man. I tell you, I think any of you have not enjoyed this kind of a freedom. It is the director, complete freedom. Anything you can discuss, anything you can talk, just you can open your heart. The other man is Dr. Abraham Muthanayagam. And he was always addressing at, actually singular, we'll say. Okay. It's almost like, hey, why you are here? At once he will ask if he see me at the corridors of devotee. And number two, I also attribute, actually, again it is Dr. Muthanayagam who has been always in the evenings he will come out of his chamber and enter into everybody's room. So there used to be some scientists, they are there until he comes. As soon as he goes, they used to go. Some of us, we were there and all anyway. No, it's an example I'm telling. You know, strongly it impacted me. Then came Dr. Harsh Gupta. See, we all, after Autonomous Institute has been created, we all have been given on a deemed deputation. Deemed deputation means without any allowance, deputation allowance. And you are Government of India servant. Remember that word. Scientist is a servant of Government of India, deemed deputation. That orders were given. And then we asked and all this, you know, for how long this is? It's indefinite, they said. No, DOPT says up to certain time only. Until then, they have to do arrangements. It was not done. You know, I thought that, you know, when Dr. Goyal is there, I wanted to say something, he went away. Anyway, then came the time we were hard pressing Dr. Gupta. You have to declare whether you are taking us, because we are the children of DOD. We are not the children of NCPOR. We are the children of Australia, Antarctic Studies. You have all removed the name. Who are we? Definitely we are not orphans. Then Dr. Harsh Gupta came and he sat in his room, अंदर का room, वहाँ बैठ के एक को बुलाया. And believe me, Dr. Harsh Gupta is my very, very senior from the same alma mater, Indian School of Mines, Dhanbad. And you know, he held my hands and said, join Sudhakar, you will have a bright future. I told Andal, other side of the river in NIO, I have to go and do the due consultation with my wife. I've gone home and all, I didn't consult my wife, came back next day, I told, no sir, she said, you know, don't join and all, either you go back to DOD or you come back to NIO. It was clear. That I have explained earlier to that as far as possible, this center having no pension and all, because as soon as I accept that and all, I have to resign and start taking pension. So I will stop here and all that, and then there have been a small, here and there, I want to bring the perspective of, you know, Southern Ocean involving Dr. Thamban and Rahul Mohan and everybody as youngsters and all, and I would also touch upon this place, that is the new station, that is Bharati. How we have gone without any logistics to Bharati we went. That is an, I think witness is Dr. Anup Tiwari. Okay, I stop on my own here.
Thank you, thank you.
With an expectation that you will give me some time. Thank you.
You definitely will get a second round, but now I think Dr. Khare is there, so we like to listen to him, because Dr. Pandey, we have already listened many things, the long stories of how this came. So we will come to you afterwards, sir, after Khare finishes.
Thank you, Dr. Rasik. Respected Dr. Muthunaigam, Dr. Shailesh Nayak, and all my colleagues. At the outset, before I go back down in the memory lane, I am grateful to the Director NCPOR for giving this opportunity to witness this important event of Silver Jubilee of NCPOR. जिसे कहते हैं नींव जिसकी 25 साल पहले पांडे जी के नेतृत्व में हुई थी. मैं बीच बीच में हिंदी बोल दूंगा क्योंकि थोड़ी अंग्रेजी कम आती है, तो प्लीज bear with me. See, I have association with this barren land of garbage dumping ground, what you call, much before 97, because in 96, one gentleman from DST, Dr. G.D. Gupta, he came to NIO, and I was in Shivaji University as a faculty. I came often to Goa because such a vibrant place. So we were in the room of my supervisor, Dr. Nigam, and he said he has come to see the ASC, what is there, and because it seems somebody asked him to, why don't you go there as a director? He might be a candidate for the director post. I was not knowing it. So I said, okay, I am also here. I will also have a look there. So with great difficulty, there was no GPS, there was no Google map that time. So very great difficulty we could reach there. And we could only reach by getting the smell of the garbage. So that was our Google map that day. So we went to this place. Nothing was there, absolutely no life, no sort of light, or it was evening time. So Dr. G.D. Gupta was practically scared. He said, Khare, where you have brought to me? I said, you have asked me to join you, not I have asked you to join me. So he said, let us go back, and I am better in DST. Then I also forgot, went back to my university, and some advertisement came and I applied, and I am here because of Dr. Muthunaikam, who selected me. He asked very pertinent question to me that what is your vision and what is your program, the planning, if you are selected. So I just talk about the ice core and the bubble trap in the ice core, and how we can study the chemical composition and talk about the paleo environment, other things. And somehow he got impressed, maybe. And he selected me, and thank you very much, sir. So because of you, I am here. So that was my first thing. And then I planned to join the ASC. And somebody told me that Dr. Pandey, somebody from NIU told me Dr. Pandey is a very dynamic person. He's from SAC and he's going there as director. I think you joined before me. So I came here from Shivaji University on 23rd May 1997. And I saw him sitting in a very, very difficult condition in big hall, 2-3 people are sitting. So I was expecting he must be like director NIU, lavish room, other thing. But when I talked to him, I said, I think he's a better director than director NIU. So I got immediately accommodated to that thing, and I was given the first job. It's an army training for me. I was giving the table to share with Dr. Shivaji. So it was an army training because very difficult to handle Dr. Shivaji. He's a very tough person. You remember that when we shifted, you will tell that story, okay. so that's how it started. And so I started my journey some few centimeters from the tail of this lane, and then there was nothing was there. And then Dr. Pandey, he's the person who made me everything in this, because another problem with me was that I was hardly 28 plus years old. And when I joined here, I got company of Dr. Rajan, Dr. Pandey, Dr. Sudhakar, and he was not there. So somehow I have to accommodate myself according to their mindset and maturity, which I was failing in most of the time. I frankly accept this. But I salute to this master. They have made me go 10 years above my age. Thank you, Dr. Rajan. And after a few years, I was talking much more mature than these people. So, so I lost my 10 years. Never mind, because I gained many things. And whatever little bit I could learn about the procedure, the concept, the approach in the system is mainly because of these masters whom I met in my young age, as well as the leadership of Dr. Pandey. Because I still remember his one sentence, because at a very young age he made me, you become the controller of stores and procurement. Now, crores of rupees procurement of the Antarctica logistic, I have to put up the proposal, taking all this formality, whether it is as per procedure or not. Then I told him, sir, it's a very tough job. Why you are making a COSP at this age? You know what he said, which is the driving force of my career. He said that you go ahead. If any success is there, you are responsible. If any failure is there, I am sitting in my room to take the responsibility. That courage has given me to take up all type of responsibility, whether it is procurement or stores related thing. I was not from this background, I was from science background. Then, because my English was a little weak, so he made me the Hindi officer also. And after nothing was there, we were not having place to sit. He one day he gave the elan kiya ki aap sab log shift ho jao. And we were very small people, myself and Sudhakar, we shifted to the garbage dumping ground, with a small place to sit. And then one fine day he said, you are the Hindi officer, conduct a national level Hindi seminar. You remember? Now you understand my situation. Then nothing is there, and there is no big hall even to sit. And he said, you invite all big people, like Professor S.K. Dubey, Mohanty Saab, and the P.C. Srivastava, and all people were. And sir, I asked him, sir, how will I do it? He said, you start. I'm inviting everybody. It's very easy. He said, I am inviting everybody, you make all arrangements. So it sounds very simple, but when you practically realize it, how difficult it was. Then we went to MPT with his support and the guidance, and we had the auditorium of MPT, which was in a very, very bad condition. But we made such a big seminar of 2 days, and the outcome of that, the Hindi seminar was, there were 2 volumes of books which came. You can understand the quantum and the number of participants in that seminar, and all courtesy goes to, the credit goes to Dr. Pandey. So that's how he has built up confidence. What I could build up in myself is because of him. And the support what he was giving to all of us, I think, is a blind support. You do anything, you commit any mistake. We were not committing mistake much, this is a different issue. But he was there to take the responsibility. So that's the leadership which I have learned from him, and I have also imbibed some character of Dr. Pandey. Another very interesting, some more time I can take? Another interesting thing which he has told me, and sometimes I argue also, I was in procurement, so he thought that I will start some wrong practice in the procurement. So once I think you remember. So he called me one day, he said, Khare, if anybody is giving you anything, don't take anything, you only take a small diary. So you remember you said it. And I'm like this only from my childhood. I asked him, I said, sir, you tell me one thing. Bolo kya? I'm like, sir, why a small diary also? So he said, no, if you want to note down something, you can take the diary, but don't take any other thing. Believe me, that sentence of Dr. Pandey has made me what I am today. And I'm almost at the end of my career. I have followed the principle of Dr. Pandey that honesty is first before anything. So these are the qualities which I have built, the imbibe in myself, because I started my career with him. And this is really remarkable journey what I have, I only less than 3 years to retire, but I will remember him in shaping my career and the making me what I am today. And that's the leadership we required in the beginning of thing. I have some more memory, but I think
we'll come back to you again. I think Dr. Pandey must have added a couple of kgs to his weight by all these good feelings that he has from his people. We'll come to you the last, and let us also hear Dr. Rajan first, and because then you will get a chance to answer all of them. Dr. Rajan, please.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, thanks, Rasik Saab. In management, there's a saying usually, for any enterprise to succeed, you need a visionary, you need a leader, and you need a bunch of crazy people around. So in '97, we had a visionary like Dr. Muthanagam. We had a leader like Dr. Pandey and a bunch of, not so sane people, Probably that was the reason why NCPOR and Antarctic Center could succeed, because so many people have talked about the garbage dumping problem, the way we have acted, the way. What I wanted to emphasize is that the kind of involvement the entire people, the entire community of Antarctic people at NCPOR had in the success of any program. In those days, there was no subdivision like, we didn't have a subdivision like Antarctica program, Arctic program, or Southern Ocean, or LCS, or anything. Anything was everybody's job. So it was just like, Antarctic expedition was launched, there will be the entire community of people at NCPOR joining there in the crowd and then contributing to that. And same way when we launched the first expedition, I wouldn't even call it an expedition, I would just talk about this legal continental program. We had a ship, we got a ship on charter, and the ship was going all over the place, and the data was to be collected was considered to be very, very, very classified. So at each port call, can you believe it, there was the director of Antarctic Center waiting there. Whenever the ship used to come harbor, Dr. Pandey used to be there. There was no reason for him to be there. He could have entrusted the work to anybody, they would have done it, but he used to be there. Not only that, he will ensure that just about everyone in the Antarctic Center was there. And the data had to be transported not by air, not by train, it had to be transported by road. So that was the kind of classified document where we had to transport it. And we had people like Nagoji. Where is Nagoji? We had people like Nagoji, we had people like Dalvi. They were entrusted with the job. So they used to be there at the harbor. They used to collect the data, put in a car, and take it across by road, whether it was Visakhapatnam or Chennai or Tuticorin or, anywhere, And the thing is that Dr. Pandey gave the free hand to everybody. His implicit faith in the people, probably that was the reason why. He never used to argue, when we used to go to him and say that, look here, sir, this will not work. Okay, theek hai, chalne do. So that was the attitude. He said, if you can't do it, tell me. If you can't do it, don't tell me. And if there's a failure, you put it on me. If there's success, I will also go around telling that you people are succeeded. Even today, when he goes around telling that aap log ne ye kiya, he has never taken credit for anything. Probably that is a lesson which we have to imbibe, For anything to succeed in life, we need that leader, and the leader should be in such a position that you should have implicit faith in the people around him. And we should be sure that, whatever we are doing, it's not for us. We are doing it for the person who has taught us the manners, the right thing at the right time. And fortunately, all of us were given such jobs that we were almost, all of us were in the right place at the right time. I don't know whether it's the right time or not, but at the right place at the right time, I could call it. Sudhagar, because of his versatility, he was one person when he came from NIO. He didn't come empty-handed, you know. He came with a ship, and he came with 2 computers. And those 2 computers were the thing, and it was held against him that he stole 2 computers from NIO and brought it across, and he stole 1 ship also in the process. But anyway, that is how it started. And those 2 Zenith computers were responsible for most of the purchases we did between 97 and 2000, because we didn't have any more computers. Same way with Dr. Kare. See, all of us, you know, all these people who came here, why I call them they are not a sound mind was that they had a very good jobs, and most of them were settled in their hometown. They left their hometown, many of them left their families, and they came to a place which had no beginning. You know, they were asked to take up this challenge, and they took up the challenge, and they made NCPOR for what it is today. So that is the thing, you know, have a person, have a visionary, have a leader, have a bunch of people around you. The sky is the limit for anybody. Thank you.
I think it's high time that we hear from Dr. Pandey himself. 5 minutes, sir. 5 minutes.
Good evening to all of you. At the outset, I would like to pay my tribute to our very lovely colleague, late Sri TVP Bhaskar Rao, and our senior who used to advise us, late Professor APG Abdul Kalam and Professor U.R. Rao, who has given tremendous support to this institute for many, many years. So I think it is a right time to remember the contribution of the great visionary. When I joined here, how I started my journey, just in 1 minute, I joined Space Application Center in 1977. That date I don't remember. And then, according to Dalvi, I joined on 12th May 1997, this Antarctic Study Center, and came to Goa. The only person who could help me in everything was Dalvi and Bhaskar Rao and his colleague. So, and you know, this land was there for more than 10 years, but nothing has happened except very good file where all the minutes will be very nicely drafted and written. That was the outcome of 10 years meeting. Then we had a leader like Professor Muthunagam. So then I said, sir, let me try this route for about a year or so, and let us see what happens. They will all give very good response. They will give tea, coffee, and many times we have met Chief Minister along with Dalvi, Rajan, sometimes Khare, sometimes. It was not like a director or subordinate. It was a family. And we, just like what Rajan told, everybody was doing everything. There was no hard and fast allocation. This is your domain. No. Jahan kaam padega, everybody will be there to support and help that things. So everywhere this the duty was there. This is a very difficult task to accomplish. But anyway, after 1 year, when all those things failed, then I discussed with the Muthunagam sir, now this is the route I am going to take. So I will not go into many details, but ultimately we had to take the recourse of the court. And then I have spoken that we also won at the Goa High Court, but it was not a written order. Then we got an opportunity to go to Supreme Court. And in between, we had a calmness of some meeting there. Khare had all the records, who prepared very nice these things. And that we submitted. There are some 75 to 80 people coming from different parts of the country for this program. And here we had to set up the world-class ice core laboratory. So all those things were there. And then in this process, we were helped by Port Trust chairman. Because always you have to have a very good relations with your neighbors. In that way, we got all support from the Port Trust. Priority for Sagar Kanya ship. And here also, I can never forget his contribution, because I cannot invite a liar to visit and then who will pay for that? And nobody will like to call. He himself invited liar who came to visit this thing, and then he said, you are going to win this case, Pandey, ultimately. So that is how it went. And then ultimately when the Mitra was also there, law ministry license and special leave petition, bolte Mitra, something like that. So their secretary, I talked, he said, sir, we are all with you. And you are doing very important thing, so we will all support you. So ultimately, we won the case from the Supreme Court. And then this institute's भाग्य का उदय हुआ. नहीं तो हम लोग छोटे से in a small room near the Prida chambers, if anyone go to Vasco da Gama, you see there we were there in a very shabby conditions. And how we decided to come over here, this was a place where one of our colleagues from the Space Application Center, he came, and then when I said, you come little bit, I will show you. So it was so much filthy, it was smelling so bad. He said, ठीक है पांडे साहब फिर आएंगे दोबारा आपके पास. He did not dare to come from that road to this campus. So that was the situation. Even Muthu Nagam was there. He will never eat tea just like in open cup and nothing. He will always do like this thing, and then tea and coffee and snacks he used to take. Anyway, so this was the one aspect of the things. Again, rather reminded me about the Legal Continental Shelf Program. This also has a very interesting story. And thanks to Muthu Nagam Saab, who decided that this work should be entrusted to Antarctic Center. And I could say yes, because I had a person of Rajan and many other Khare, Sudhakar, they are all world-class geologists, dedicated person. You do anything challenge, I can guarantee it will be 100% success. So when we took that, and then everything was, then all the survey work started. What Sars Gupta said, 31,000 line kilometer data of the gravity, reflection, magnetic, and ocean bottom seismograph. These data were collected. Nowhere in the world this type of survey work was accomplished. And today I came to know that some EEZ area we got. So I want to compliment rather it is his effort. I will just take one very small incident. So in Visakhapatnam, the ship was supposed to land there, and from there it will go. So I just like the brother told, I used to come along with him so that to give moral encouragement and such. We got a call around 11 or 12 o'clock. This ship is not going to sail tomorrow because we found it is rusted. Its stairs are rusted, so it will not go. So I said, Rajan, what is this? We have made all the assumptions. Now, till yesterday, ship was all right. In the overnight, how it has rusted and it will not go. So they have their own way of, I do not want to use any other word, they have their own way of handling the things. Then I talked to the top person there. Marika, if my ship does not sail by 7 o'clock tomorrow, I am going to send the facts to the Prime Minister's office and my ministry. What will be the consequences? You have to bear that. When I threatened him, then after 1 hour, I got a call around 1 o'clock in the night. You see, 1 o'clock in the night we were there. And then he said, sir, we have found out a way. It is not that much we can allow. So these are the difficulties we faced in having this legal continental self-survey. And there are many such incidences. If I keep on narrating, then it will take hours together. And then when Muthu Nagam took the decision of sending the South Africa, many people were not in favor. Even in the ministry, they were not very keen. He said, you will lose the status. What status you will lose? We are hiring the ship and then we are going to, what is so great about it? What we will lose? But Muthu Nagam has given thought how much money and then how much money and time you will save into that. So that is how he had taken decision, and I have accepted this challenge. We will launch it from South Africa. And I went along with him, Saab of the logistics. When I came to know that I have flagged up, he has got the record, I had forgotten. So I said, this is a new thing I now remember. The first expedition for the South Africa was flagged by me, and then, So there are many such things. I will get another time to narrate, and then it will be hours together. So I could do these things because of two things. Great leader like Dr. Muthunagam and great colleagues. No director, nothing. We were all colleagues, scientists, irrespective of the status and other things. Sudhakar, Rajan, Khare, Mitra, Dalvi, fantastic person. There was not a single moment in our whole 8 years where we have not got an appointment from the Chief Minister. If he will not meet me in his office, he will invite that you come to my residence and then offer tea and coffee. So that is the type of person Dalvi has. Once we went to the collector office, Marwagaon, so I wanted to, this one house was there. I wanted to get it allotted. I met Collector Gupta ji at that time. Then he said, the concerned person has not come. I said, what person, who will type the order? So Dalu sir, I will type it. I said, you see, your job is done. And then he typed, and Gupta ji signed, and then we came with this thing, and then occupied, though it was very shabby conditions. So we left that place and got some other place. There are many interesting things. Why I could succeed? Because I have the gems of these talented scientists with me. I have done nothing. This is not my credit. Today morning दास भी बात है, सर आप तो कोई चीज़ सब लोग बोलते हैं हम ही लोग की है. हमने कहा तुम लोग किए हो इसलिए मैं बोलता हूँ. I am not wrong. It is all done by my colleagues. मैं तो ठीक था, डायरेक्शन देता था, काम करने का जो हो पाता था, हेल्प करता था. हम इनके साथ भी थे. कंपैरेटिव स्टेटमेंट बनाने के लिए I used to sit with all these people. So there was no this thing, I am director, I will say order, and no, I will sit with him, discuss with him, see what is happening, everything. So we all were working as a team and well-coordinated team. That is why we could succeed.
Thank you,
so
sir.
it
Thank
is
you.
a great memory, and there are many things we'll narrate sometimes. Yes, thank you all very much.
Well, there are so many stories and so many events, so many histories that you just can't put stop to it. I know that. But then we have a limit because another session is there, so we have to put an end to this session. I know there were many good stories, good incidents which were going to come from Dr. Sudhakar about Bharti, about from Dr. Khare, also from Dr. Mitra, but I think some other time we have to have that session. So thank you very much, all the panelists here. It was a great thing to listen to all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for this is a wonderful session. We could see that, and very unfortunate, we could not get a time to interact with our esteemed dignitaries and the scientists. But definitely, these are the pillars. We never get this opportunity. You can see that the person who has made the foundation for us. So if it is our foundation is very strong, our building will be definitely very, very strong. Because when we started, nothing was there. इस पर मैं जरूर कुछ कहना चाहूँगा इनके खुशी पर. मुट्ठी में कुछ सपने लेकर भरकर जेबों में आशाएं, दिल में है अरमान यही कुछ कर जाएं, कुछ कर जाएं. सूरज सा तेज नहीं मुझ में, दीपक सा जलता देखोगे. सूरज सा तेज नहीं मुझ में, दीपक सा जलता देखोगे. अपनी हद रोशन करने से तुम मुझको कब तक रोकोगे, तुम मुझको कब तक रोकोगे. अगली पंक्ति है, बजा दीजिए सर. मैं उस माटी का वृक्ष नहीं जिसको नदियों ने खींचा है, सींचा है. मैं उस माटी का वृक्ष नहीं जिसको नदियों ने सींचा है. बंजर माटी में पलकर मैंने मृत्यु से जीवन खींचा है. मैं पत्थर पर लिखी इबादत हूँ, मैं पत्थर पे लिखी इबादत हूँ, शीशे से कब तक तोड़ोगे. मैं पत्थर पे लिखी इबादत हूँ, शीशे से कब तक तोड़ोगे. मिटने वाला नाम नहीं, तुम मुझको कब तक रोकोगे, तुम मुझको कब तक रोकोगे. सो दीज आर द पीपल हु इज द, बिकॉज ऑफ हिम जब NCPOR हुआ था, इतनी सारी हमने स्टोरियाँ सुनी. केवल कचरा था, केवल मक्खियाँ थी, वॉमिटिंग हो जा रहा था. तो ऐसे सपनों को इन्होंने संजोया है. तो हम इनके लिए बहुत दिल से आभार व्यक्त करते हैं. डेफिनेटली सर. हाँ सर. अरे
I would like to say in one sentence that I'm very happy and pleased to mention here that one-man cell has grown into a 300 plus Polar Institute, Research Institute here. And a garbage dumping ground has become a thriving research institute. So it is a most prestigious institute. So thank you for all those who are involved in this.
So thank you so much, sir. Now I will request, this is the opportunity to honor these stalwarts. So I'll request Dr. Muthunaigam, sir, and Director, sir, to please. So we'll get the Dr. PC Pandey, sir. तालियां बजाते रहिए आप लोग. Now it's Arvind Mitra, sir. Rasik sir and Rajan sir ने मना किया है. हाँ, फोटो तो आएगा सर, एक ग्रुप फोटो लेंगे बाद. रिक्वेस्ट करूंगा सारे मेंबर्स अपनी तालियां बजाते रहें. ऐसा अवसर दोबारा नहीं मिलने वाला है हम लोग को. ना सुधाकर सर. Next, I'll request Niloy Khare, sir. I'll request. Now I'll request Dalvi, sir. So one group photograph will take part.
No, Ram is a bad man.
Thank you so much, sir. So I thank to all the panelists for this interactive discussion and taking the history of NCOR to the NCPOR. I believe many of us were not aware about what the challenges it was faced by the initial time. And these were the results. Our founder has given that platform to reveal that how it has been built the NCOR to the NCPOR journey. We are really grateful to all the dignitaries who was talking about the back time of the NCOR. So मैं सबको इसी बीच में फिर से मैं बोलूँगा एक बार big rounds of applause for all the panelists which has been done. So as per the schedule, we have the felicitation speeches by our NCPOR families. So just with a couple of 2 minutes, we were going to set up the. हाँ ऊपर आना है सर. नहीं सर हम लोग चाह रहे हैं आपको सामने से देखने के लिए. जल्दी करो फास्ट यार. हो गया. So now we'll start the new session, and we would like to listen from our NCPOR families. MOES family, the sister organizations. So these are the leaders who has been being the instrumental for the controlling all the activities of MOES and the saving the Earth, India's Earth science research. So we had a big list, but since few of the members are not available today, so we are honored to invite Professor N.V. Chalapati Rao sir, Director, National Center for Earth Sciences. And I'll request Dr. V.S. Prasad, Head, NCMRWF, Dr. Sukanta Roy, Head of BGRL, Dr. R.S. Mahesh Kumar, Scientist G, MOES. So please join us for this. एक चेयर, one chair remove. So only 3%. सुकांता रॉय सर आ रहे हैं. अच्छा आ रहे हैं. So before we start the next session, I would like to, so I'll request, I think Dr. Rahul Mohan sir, to please come to dais to give the bouquet, present the bouquet for all the directors and heads for MUS family. This is some surprise. Professor N.V. Chalpati Rao, Director NCS. Give a big round of applause for. V.S. Prasad, Head NCMRWF. Dr. R.S. Mahesh Kumar, Scientist GMOES. Sukanta sir kahin gaye? Aa jaye. So again I'll trouble you sir if in between he comes. So it is my honor to brief about our family which is available right now. Professor N.V. Chalpati Rao sir. He is the Director of National Center for Earth Sciences. He is a distinguished geoscientist known for his pioneering research on kimberlite, large igneous provinces, and mental petrology. With the 2 PhD degree from Osmania University and University of Cambridge, he has over the more than 120 SCI journals, publications, and a mentor of more than 15 research scholars. He played a key role in establishing the Advanced Research Facility at BHU and received the numerous prestigious awards, including the National Mineral Award, Professor N.C.R. Rao Award, GSI Lectureship Award, Decennial Award from Indian Geophysical Union 2022. He is a fellow of Indian National Academy. He is also the Indian Academy of Sciences and National Academy of Science, India, and he has significantly contributed the geoscience research policy and education in India. So now I invite sir for your the felicitation speech for.
A very good evening to all of you. First of all, I would like to extend my heartfelt congratulations to NCPOR, family of NCPOR, director and all, on this very, very august occasion. Second, I should be very thankful to Dr. Thamban for inviting me. I was in a fix when I got the letter. It's a year ending and a lot of things to do, but the type of invite which was reflected in the letter content made me, I should be here, and I'm very glad I'm here. No, any institution actually has a legacy. I mean, you look at ISRO, you look at Department of Atomic Energy, and after sitting here for almost 2 days, I realized that I recall the famous quote of Sir Isaac Newton. If I've seen further, it is because I sat on the shoulders of giants. In whatever context he has said, I really saw some of the giants here. I feel very fortunate to hear from them. And I also pay my tribute to the great stalwarts, the successive secretaries of our Ministry of Earth Science or DOD, whatever you call, for their vision in creating such a unique center. You see, we are living in times of earth system science. No more we are talking about geology, geophysics, oceanography, meteorology. We are talking about earth system science. And the greatest contribution this institute, in my opinion, has done is to bring cryosphere into the gamut. So that has become part and parcel. Human being is always excited by things which he can't access. That's a human quality. And I feel that Arctic, Antarctic missions do come under that. And I think the present generation of young people who are enjoying these aspects owe a great to NCPOR for making it possible. In last 2 days, I got the distilled information from so many people. I could enjoy the essence of it, being a scientist myself. I'm very happy to Dr. Thamban again that I'm here. As a solid earth geophysicist or a geoscientist, I would like to put it, Antarctica and India share a very, very close relationship right from planet Earth was formed. Antarctica was a part of planet Earth right from supercontinent 2000, 3000 million years. It was part under Columbia, Rodinia, it was part under Gondwana. And the recent studies have shown that even Arctic has some connections based on paleomagnetic studies with some of our northern our cratons. So I think if we want to understand geologically, geophysically, how Indian shield has evolved, we need to look at Antarctica and Arctic as well. I think it has tremendous potential even to look for mineral deposits, because we can see that coal deposits are lying there, rare earths are there, and also some of the world's famous, Dr. Rajan has touched Greenland, like Skiergård inclusion. They're all located there, platinum rich, nickel rich. Of course, I know it is environmentally not feasible to mine them, but technology is advancing in such a way that feasible mining is possible. Who knows, 100 years down the lane, we may mine from Antarctica without causing any disruption to the environment. And also in these days of climate change and all extreme events, we need to have data from these two terrains and also from the Southern Ocean. So I think this institute is a remarkable institution and has been involved in. My tryst with NCPOR goes back to 10, 12 years back when Dr. Sailesh Naik happened to be the secretary of MOES. He constituted a committee to set up, to write a science plan on hydrothermal systems. And I was very lucky to be a part of that team, which included people like Sukanta is there, Dr. Ravichandran was also there in that team, and Professor Gaur was the chairman. We visited this institute a number of times. We have spent a lot of time in preparing a science plan. Then we were not knowing exactly why this has to be done. Then at the last meeting, Dr. Nayak told a very interesting thing. You see, many of the scientific missions have some geopolitical way of thinking. He said Chinese ships were coming to Indian Ocean Ridge and we need to go there, and for that science is one of the ways. But in the process, if science can be done, why not? So that's how I got involved. And later on, I also visited a number of times in some instrument procurements and so forth. One thing which I noticed with NCPOR, I have a very vibrant collaboration even before coming to MOES family with like people like Parijat Roy, whom I mentored, and also with Walibur Rahman, with whom I published 8 to 10 papers. The greatness of this institute is it is open to all. Any academia people can come, because I know in some institutes in India, youngsters are only shown the instrument. They are never allowed to enter. But NCPOR, I have seen the culture is very different. Perhaps an ISRO culture it enjoyed. And it's open, people come, my students come, they work. I mean, I really appreciate. Institutions are made up of individuals. Today we have seen only 5 people could build up this institute. It doesn't mean the others are not involved, but any institute to start with, the first phase is the most difficult phase, where Dr. P.C. Pandey, his team, and led by Dr. Muttunayakam and others, played a tremendous role. My earnest request is, we need to identify right people, choose them to right propose, and institutes will flourish in India. And final thing I want to say is, of all these things, I am also tremendously benefited by getting acquainted with Dr. Muttunayakam himself. I heard his name, I never met him. Dr. Tamban said, you are coming from Trivandrum, why don't you come along with him? After talking to him from Bombay to here and all, I learned a lot. One amazing thing I got to know, he was directly recruited by none other than Dr. Vikram Sarabhai himself. So Dr. Sarabhai assembled Indian students who were doing PhD in US at Indian Embassy at New York, and he interviewed them and he gave them orders straight away. And Dr. Muttunayakam belongs to the first batch. I was very thrilled, not only by knowing that, but about the vision of our people like Dr. Sarabhai, who picked up right people and you get right results. So I wish NCPOR very grand success, and as director of NCES, part of MOES family, we are going to celebrate our Golden Jubilee in 2028. I have taken a leaf out of what you have done. To emulate that is not an easy task, but I am sure we will come up to that level, and I wish all of you come there and enjoy the meet. And I also assure you that we should have a very vibrant collaboration in every sense, because whatever you do, we have the state-of-the-art analytical facilities. I think we need to set a very good example of how real collaboration can make a difference to Indian science. So thank you very much, and I thank Rahul Mohan and others for giving me the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your wonderful appreciation and promoting the collaborations for the how it is going to be our MES family can work together for the future thing. So I'll request Rahul sir again. I think we have left out the Sukant Rai sir. So I'll request.
Please, he was not there.
So,
He was not there.
So among us, we have a very distinct person, Dr. V.S. Prasad, head of NCMRWF. He is a leading expert in data assimilation, satellite data retrieval, and numerical weather prediction. He played a key role in developing the India's state-of-art data assimilation and assemblage forecasting system and led the country's first global reanalysis project. With over 100 publications, his contributions have significantly advanced the weather and climate modeling, a recipient of B.N. Desai Medal, and Phillips Prize, Mausam Biennial Award, MOS Merit Certificate, and JSPS Fellowship. He is also, as a Fellow of Indian Meteorological Society, recognizing the impact of meteorological research. So he is a very vast research. I'll request sir to please say about how we can improve our things with the collaborations.
In the first instant, I would congratulate NCPOR colleagues and Director NCPOR Dr. Thamban for celebrating their 25th year celebrations. And I thank personally Thamban for inviting me that one. And morning onwards, we're hearing our former secretaries and directors of NCPOR telling about the vast contribution that NCPOR done and the way how the institution was built. I was associated with DBOD. I started my career with the DBOD project of potential fishing zones, and have seen the MOS institutions, that NCOIS, NCPOR, and NIOT, that become national and international famous. And especially NCPOR, now many people, people studying for civil service, other things also talking about Antarctica expeditions, and that they're doing that one. And said that one, at NCPOR we have seen a lot of improvement that they are doing, contributing to the country. And at NCMRW we have the global model that we are running for the model medium range weather forecasting, the global model. And we never got to test how the model is performing at polar regions. And recently we have collaborations with NCPOR, and around 2021, we saw there was problem with the ship approaching the land. Like there was a lot of icing happening, and the ship approach and the timing of the ship. So that prediction we have given, what is the time to reach the island, and also the way, timing and the path was predicted, and we found that is working very well. That gives a confidence in our model. And recently also, when the Southern Ocean expedition is happening, we gave the forecast for the ship, and Dr. Thamban is given the thing that is working very well, and the chief scientist is also given the forecast is working well. That gives the confidence in that one. And morning we are seeing that our Secretary Rajivan is telling the reanalysis for the Antarctica region. I think a lot of data was collected by NCPOR from last 30 years or so, and we are hearing other centers also done. And he's proposing the reanalysis for the polar regions. And given the forecast that quality what we are seeing that now, it is high time that NCPOR and NCMRW can work together for bringing the reanalysis for the polar regions. And NCMRWF is also working as a leader for the regional reanalysis in the Wet Office Consortium. So I propose with Dr. Thamban that we can work together and do the polar reanalysis at the region thing at highest level resolution. And our ocean forecast, sea ice forecast, that we also check in quality. Recently we are sharing with NCPOR and finding that was very good. So as a MOS institution, we can work together more further and see that, and all the data that we have atmospheric and other data what we have done. Validate that one and do the reanalysis, and the reanalysis quality that what we are producing, IMDA reanalysis from the last that what we found, it is one of the highest impact factor work that was carried by Ministry of Earth Sciences under the mission motion. If you see the citations, the reanalysis is highest citation that we have. So similar thing we together will produce in each other. And next month we have taken that our secretary recommended that we to take hospitalities of NCPOR. Next month we are going to organize one international workshop, ITWG. That is a Taos working group workshop where 30 nations will work that one. I propose that with the help of NCPOR, we will host in Goa, and where about 200 international scientists will come, and NCPOR will become, we propose that to collaborate with us to host that thing. And said that one, the collaboration between the MOS institutions, say NIOT or NCMRWF, NCPOR, we'll see further so that strengthen our endeavor in taking your science, polar science further. And recently, our scientist, Dr. Akhilesh Mishra, is interacting from last 2-3 years with NCPOR team, and they found that our products, CI's products, now we are doing the coupled model. Earlier we were doing the atmospheric model alone. Now we are entering from last 3 years, we are entering into the coupled model, where CIs, land, and ocean, all 4 parameters together there. So we are producing global quality CIs forecast from the last 8 years or so. So these products also is much available, and young scientists from the NCPOR can make it of the reanalysis products from the 10 years ocean products that are available. Apart from the data what you have, these things are also, I propose that NCMRWF and NCPOR in the near future we have strengthened our collaborations, take it, the science, polar science further, and especially we have to plan the reanalysis. And with that, I thank you for giving the opportunity.
Thank you so much, sir, for giving insight and opportunity for all the NCPOR, young researchers and the researchers from across the India for utilizing the reanalysis data. It is for indigenous from the India, from NCMRWF. So this will be definitely, it is going to be big opportunity. In fact, our researchers already have been attended several trainings, and they are in touch with the researchers from the NCMRWF. Definitely it is going to be big opportunity for all of us. So our next member is from the MOS family, Dr. Sukanta Roy. He is the head for the Borehole Geophysics Research Laboratory, that is called BGRL, under the Ministry of Earth Sciences, Government of India. A distinguished geophysicist, he is specialized in geothermal studies, geothermics of the climate change, and the scientific deep drilling into the seismic faults. With the 3 decades his experience, he has played a pivotal role in deep drilling project in the Koina Interplate seismic zone. He earned his PhD in geophysics from Banaras Hindu University while he's working in CSIR, National Geophysical Research Institute. A gold medalist from the BHU, Dr. Roy sir has made a significant contribution for the geophysical research in India. So with this word, I'll request Dr. Sukanta Roy sir to please come and give your vision and sight for the NCPOR members.
Thank you, Avinash. At the outset, I'd like to start with my deep appreciation for the leaders of the Ministry of Earth Sciences and NCPOR, both past and present, for us to see this day, for making it possible for us to see this day today, the Silver Jubilee of NCPOR. And many congratulations to all of you here on behalf of all the past and present staff of the Borehole Geophysics Research Laboratory, Karad. We all get really fascinated, everyone gets fascinated by seeing the beautiful pictures of Antarctica and Arctic and penguins and everything. And it creates an awe among the general public as well. But we are, by now, we know how important is the science behind these pictures. And that's one of the most fascinating things that is unique to India, the study of the Arctic, Antarctic, the Himalaya, the 3 poles. And there's so much to do in future that really the NCPOR stands out to be a unique institution in the India that has clearly a very, very bright future. Thank you, Dr. Thamban, for inviting me here to represent BGRL. And I would not like to repeat what Chalapati mentioned, that in the early 2010s to 2012, I had a lot of interactions here with regard to the same hydrothermal sulfides program, which he has already mentioned. But who knew that a few years later, NCPOR would become almost my second home for the next several years. And that is how I would like to really acknowledge the NCPOR's contribution and its association with one of the finest solid earth programs in the world, that is the scientific deep drilling in the Koyna intraplate seismic zone in Maharashtra. I'm mincing no words here, but when we started this program, we started with nothing. We just arrived in Karad. I remember Dr. Sailesh, I joined the Ministry of Earth Sciences. Dr. Sailesh Naik as secretary took my joining report, and then I asked him what to do. He said, go to Karad by the next flight. Landed up in Karad. We didn't have anything except a hired building that was hired with the help of NCPOR a few months ago, with the help of people like Mr. Ravikant Sharma. I don't see him here today, but he and his colleagues. And then but frankly speaking, I never felt, or we never felt, a problem. The kind of leadership that was demonstrated by the then director of NCPOR, Dr. Rajan, who is, I'm happy that you are here today, never made us feel that, okay, I came from an institute where I had everything in Hyderabad, and I land up in a place where I had nothing. But then he never made it feel, never made us feel that we are away from home. Even in a place like Karad, we were only a phone call away from help. And the superb, seamless hand-holding, I would say, with which the BGRL really took its infant steps, the baby steps, as we say. So NCPOR has such a deep connection with BGRL, or the other way around, BGRL has such a deep connection with NCPOR from its infant days. And then things started moving, and then we did the pilot program, the pilot phase drilling program, a 3-kilometer borehole in hard rock, in crystalline rock in the country that was infested with active seismic activity, earthquakes. And such a borehole to such a depth was never drilled in the country, not even by the oil industry. And the kind of support that we received, again, from the then director, Dr. Ravichandran, we made the contract, we got it executed, there were hiccups, but then I think the leadership that was demonstrated by Dr. Ravichandran and the kind of support that BGRL got from him and Dr. Rahul Mohan, I would say, who was coordinating the activities with BGRL, this is kind of unforgettable. These are really good, really lovely memories to cherish forever. This program would not have would not have been possible without this kind of a support. So then, it was a fantastic journey. We were very successful in completing the pilot phase, and then we have always maintained that relationship. Even today, NCPOR is helping us in more ways than one. I don't have to explicitly say that here, but that connection exists, and I think that we will have, even after BGRL administration moved away from NCPOR, we have continued that kind of a connection or association with colleagues here. And I'm sure that with the expertise that we have built in BGRL over the years, and the kind of expertise that exists in NCPOR, in the future, there will be enough opportunities for us to work together on scientific issues, particularly in Antarctica, for example, as Rahul often discusses with me, the kind of melting of the ice sheets, which is a matter of very crucial importance and has connections with the heat flow and thermal structure there, and many other problems. I think there are really good opportunities, and we would be very proud to be associated with any such activity with NCPOR. So I think I'll not take much more time, because really it has been a fantastic journey for BGRL with NCPOR, and I wish you all the very best once again. I have no doubt that NCPOR is and will be the shining star in this area in the future, not only in India, but also in the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for giving insight that how NCPOR is directly linked for the BGRL when it was in evolution stage. And definitely it was the good collaboration with the NCPOR and BGRL, and which has come out the reality. So we have one distinguished personality sitting with us, that is Dr. R.S. Mahesh Kumar, sir. He is a person, he came from our headquarters, but the journey which he has done is specialized in the remote sensing of atmospheric aerosol and trace gases of cloud physics. His research has initiated mostly from IITM Pune, where he has done about the atmospheric aerosol properties and their effect. And he has been lot of study has been done about the study of cloud and convections, airborne observation, cloud and precipitation. Sir has initiated his career from the JRF he has been up to the scientist DE, up to there in IITM. Later on, he has been joined in MOES. He has been several awards in his career. He has been from the Indian Meteorological Society. He has got IMS award, VN Desai award, gold medal prize. He has a Silver Jubilee 2022, DST Young Scientist Scheme award. And presently, he is in a Ministry of Earth Sciences. He is a coordinator for the different programs of earlier we had a PACER, we had the SAGE, STORMS. So he is the person who could link, and we have a lot of interaction during our outreach program and capacity building. So he's the man for all those things. We get a big round of applause for him, and we invite him for this.
Good evening, all. I am humbled to stand before all the founding fathers and senior members and secretaries. I'm odd man out here. Thanks for this opportunity. It is a great privilege to stand before you all. And thanks to Dr. Tamban and team for inviting me. So, NCPOR, congratulations to all of you. It's all a teamwork. It has grown to greater heights in this young age of 25 years. And I understand that average age of the NCPOR is also around 40 to 45, the workforce, whatever is working here. So a lot of growth is still expected, a long way to go. I am basically, as told, I'm a person from atmospheric science, started my career as a JRF from Indian Institute of Tropical Meteorology. From those days onwards, it is we have been fascinated that at least one chance we should get to go to Arctic or Antarctic on an expedition. So far it couldn't materialize. Maybe that is part of shortcoming from my side. personally as a researcher. Now there is no much research involved in our work. It is scientific administration only. So opportunities are now very much thinned down, I understand. But still, we discussed, we are trying to push our secretary, current secretary also, that MOS officers also on a suitable roles may be considered in the expeditions, so that we will also have an opportunity. We don't want to be a dead weights there. We will come, participate. We will try to give our best physically and mentally to on logistic as well as taking observations, take all the responsibilities. Let's hope things will come true. So this is from my research scholars days onwards. And now, so now I am coming to the subject bit. So we have talked about climate change. I was not unfortunate that I could not attend last 2 days of sessions, but we all understand that the climate change is driving. We as human beings, we have achieved in shattering all the tipping points. So that ice sheets onwards, everything is melting. This melting of ice sheets, as we all know, has a direct impact on the Indian monsoon circulation. So already some studies and programs are going on in NCPOR in this. So we have to further understand, and the impact-based analysis are some, these kind of impacts, climate change impacts also to be taken into consideration, because this monsoon is the driving force for our country's economy as well as for food. So this is one point anyway, already work is going on. And otherwise also NCPOR scientists now and have a lot of additional future exciting responsibilities coming on the way, like polar research vessel is being talked. I think hopefully it will come in a year or two. Then a new station is also being thought over to have a new station in the Antarctica, southernmost station. And we have started round-the-clock monitoring in the Arctic. That's one of the great opportunity. So these are all these small achievements, but we have to now step into new shoes and ready to take up the responsibility in our shoulders to move ahead. So request all the scientists, students, everybody to be there. We are all there in the ministry, but whatever responsibility, whatever additional help what we could do, we are there to help. And very happy to see the NCPOR and the scientists reaching new heights and achieving that. So I congratulate one and all. A long way to go. Keep it up. Thank you.
Thank you to all the dignitaries on the days. Each individual is the pillar and support for the NCPOR journey. And we are honored to have you with us. So let's give a big round of applause for all the members who has been appreciated. So it is our privilege and honor to conduct the felicitation. So I'll request Padma Shri Shailesh Nayak sir. So please, and I'll request our director and Dr. Rahul Mohan sir also to be please join on this. So now I will request Professor Chalpati Rao sir. तालियां बजनी चाहिए जोरदार. Next खड़ा रहना. Now I'll request Dr. V.S. Prasad, Head of NCMRWF. Now I'll request Dr. Shrikant Roy, Head of BGRL. Now I'll request Dr. R.S. Mahesh Kumar, Scientist G from Ministry of Earth Sciences. Group photo. Group photo. हाँ बोलेंगे सर. So we'll. So we will take one group photograph now. So, hope